Hut, hut to the feminine away. Hut to the. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Themis and Thoth. Grab your coffee, water, tea, whatever you're drinking. Go and get that. It is 6 o'clock and I'm having coffee. Yeah. I have a club. Do you call it a club? I have a group meeting tonight. So some of my friends from high school, we went to anyway. Some of my friends from high school, we are going to meet up. It's a kind of reunion, so I already got dressed to go back to my high school to go zip it and do it. How is everyone? How's, how's everyone? Well, everyone is a parent at this point. Everyone is a parent except me. Except me. All right. There's a lot of new people, right? And people have become stressed. They are stressed. Um, they're stressed with watching my video, my live streams in particular, because they did not know that I interrupt the live stream a lot, right? And I interrupt the live stream a lot. When I'm watching a video. There are two reasons for it. The first, you're here for my opinion, hopefully, and not for whatever the video is. Now, obviously, there is this need to know what the video is about. Hopefully, I have always explained what the video is about. The second is IP issues. When it comes to intellectual property rights and even just citations generally, one of my big things, because I've seen people take my words verbatim and repeat them, or take my videos and just like reposted them. That for me is death to the soul, right? In my head, I'm an artist and this is a part of my art. And so one of the things that I want to do when I engage with other people's art, other people's content, is transform it in a way that even the people whose content it is, when they're watching me review their content, they know for a fact that this is something different. It's transformative. You gave me 10 minutes of content and I gave you an hour from that 10 minutes, right? Which means I'm going to engage with the material how I engage with it. I do recognize it is annoying to pause a video that you're watching and to interrupt that video. I get it. Accept it. I'll accept that is true. But then I go to the first claim that I make and the first reason I pause, IP. So yes, I want to give my opinion. I want to make sure it is said, the IP issue is there. And also you are here for my opinion. If ever you feel like you don't get enough context for a video and you want the video, please just let me know in the chat and I will copy the video and send it to you. It is that simple. I will post the videos that I'm watching in the chat so you can go watch the original video. That's that on that. It is disturbing because some of the comments I'm getting, they're very aggressive. And I don't know if these people meant to be aggressive. I don't speak disrespectfully to people in my real life. People don't speak disrespectful to me in my real life. And I extend that online. You will be blocked and I will address you whenever I have time. And when I have time, I'm gonna address you. Like it just is what it is. Like I'm not about to sit here because I have the microphone and you be disrespectful. That's not no. That's not gonna happen. Anywho, so to refresh, we gonna listen to one of our sisters, not one of y'all sisters. Yeah, no, it is. It is like I don't know what if you want to watch the whole video, go find the whole video. Like I don't know what to tell you, but we're going to recenter our energies. Y'all ready to recenter your energy? Y'all ready to recenter your energy? Let me check my Discord. I was talking to DJ. I want to see if she is free. Okay, cool. Keep me posted. All right, let's get our grounding back.
Did you guys see this?
I can hear the voice of my ancestors calling me. I can hear the voice of my ancestors' song. Oh, yeah.
Kelsey, please. It's been a long week. This may be the whitest thing I've ever seen, and I've been white for 49 years. Kelsey, respectfully, please get up off the ground and collect yourself and go make sourdough starter like you were intended to. It's always this comment, Kelsey. Honestly, this is my own fault for having and using this. Did you guys see this?
I can hear the voice of my ancestors calling me. I can hear the voice of my ancestors' song. Oh, yeah.
Kelsey, please.
Now, what y'all think her ancestors? No, what do y'all think her ancestors saying? She can hear them calling. What y'all think they said? Because I need to know what y'all thought they said. Drop it in the comment what y'all thought her ancestors be saying. That little run at the end is that little. I'm gonna play that. That little run at the end ain't no joke. That little run at the end ain't no joke. You gotta. we're not about the girl get up. We're not about to play with her in that little run at the end. Let's hear it again. One last time.
Did you guys see this?
I can hear the voice of my ancestors calling me. I can hear the voice of my ancestors' song. Oh, yeah.
Kelsey, please. It's been a long week. This may be the whitest thing I've ever seen, and I've been white for 49 years. Kelsey, respectfully, please get up off the ground and collect yourself and go make sourdough starter like you were intended to. It's always this comment, Kelsey. Honestly, this is my own fault for having and using this. Oh, good. I've been looking for a custom ringtone for my grandparents. I don't have a problem with it, but my issue is the vocals. This isn't singing and is really painful to hear. Please stop or get voice lessons. See, I'm Filipino, and if I sang like...
She responded to that comment. She actually responded to that comment, and that's diabolical. I would not have responded. Y'all would have just catch me on the other side. One more thing before we get into our actual video for today. There's one more thing that I saw. And I'm stressed because, like, I'm stressed. Wait, let me tell you why I'm stressed. When you see something and you know something is wrong, do you have an obligation to tell the people experiencing that which is wrong that something is in fact wrong? As a bystander, to have morals aiming in the right direction, to be a person of virtue, do you have an obligation to tell people the issues when you see it? It depends. Good enough answer. So I'm gonna play this video, and let me tell first. Don't tell me. Do not point out the. Do not. If you do it in this comment, we're gonna have problem. That's the first thing. If you answer in the comment, we gonna have problem. The only thing you need to be answering, the only thing you need to be answering in the comment is, should we tell this person? Say yes, we should tell them. No, we shouldn't tell them. Don't say about what. If you don't get it, you don't get it. but do not answer. Do not say what the issue is. Just let us know if we should tell her the issue. Got it? Cool.
Going to tell her.
Like, I just want to let you know, I don't want to introduce the L word or any kissing until like it develops. One of the many nights we were out enjoying time together, we just drove into the mountains for a ways. We parked the car and Zach was just like, this is really random. And this is not something I've ever thought about, but I just this unction from the Holy Spirit to just ask you what you'd think about saving our first kiss for our wedding day. Like if that comes, like not kissing till our wedding day. And I was just like shocked in my seat because it's something that I had wanted, but I didn't want it to be a legalistic thing. I didn't want it to be a rule we had to follow because of X, Y, and Z. I wanted him to initiate it. I wanted the guy to initiate it because it was in his heart. Because if he was going to be the one leading, he would have to have that desire. The fact that he asked, first of all, and then it like wasn't something
asking
he
wasn't
thought
like,
of.
Yeah, it wasn't like something serious. Like, hey, like let's say.
This is the man. This is this is this is the man.
Our first kiss. It was like, what do you think of this?
It was also like, I don't know why this keeps coming to mind, but I can't get it out of my mind. And I was like, well, that's actually something that I've kind of wanted, but I've always wanted the guy to initiate it. And Zach was like, okay.
I was like, okay, so, I'll think on it a little bit.
So I think we took a few days because we were like, if we're going to make this commitment, we need to, take a few days, make sure we're ready to make this commitment, make sure we're doing it for the right reasons.
Know that we have the discipline too. Like that's big commitment. Kiss. It was like, what do you think of this?
It was also like, I don't know why this keeps coming to mind, but I can't get it out of my mind. And I was like, well, that's actually something that I've kind of wanted, but I've always wanted the guy to initiate it. And Zach was like, okay.
I was like, okay, so, I'll think on it a little bit.
So I think we took a few days because we were like, if we're going to make this commitment, we need to, take a few days, make sure we're ready to make this commitment, make sure we're doing it for the right reasons.
Know that we have the discipline too. Like that's big commitment.
Who's going to tell her?
Like, I just want to let you know.
Y'all keep saying she knows. I don't think she knows. I don't think she knows. But because I've been seeing these women walking around with their husbands. Like there's a trad wife. I forgot her name. But there's a trad wife content creator on TikTok that's all talking all this mess about men and masculinity. And then we saw her man. I think I did a video on her. She's white also. We did a video on her. And when she revealed who her man was, girl, Grinder, I mean, the people were like, all right, girl. All right. Period. Anywho. Thank you all so much for being here. Let us jump right into our videos. You know what I mean? Video. Oh my God, Ronnie. So Van Lathan, after he got dragged, we dragged him over here. They dragged him over there. He was getting dragged in them comments. Y'all remember Van Lathan, right? So Van Lathan, it's Latham, right? Let me look up his name. So I feel like it's Van Lathan. I'm gonna call him Hat. So on Friday, or whenever I did, I came live and I told you that Van and Rachel were having a conversation about Aiden Ross. And Rachel explained in detail the problem with the fact that Aiden does not exist in the Black community, disrespecting Doechii without a bunch of Black men who allowed him access in this way, right? And so instead of taking that, understanding that, Van went on a dusty diatribe just through a mantram. And after this, he got called out, got dragged. So he came back. And he had things to say. He had things that he wanted to get off his chest.
But I think obviously we need to kind of talk about what happened on Monday. I guess it was Monday for us. It was Tuesday for you guys. And the conversation at the end of the podcast around Aiden Ross and the men around Aiden Ross. All right. First, before I talk, Rachel, do you have anything you want to say?
No.
Zero.
I have nothing to say.
Really?
I think the floor is yours.
Okay, cool. So this is what I'll say. All right. Everything I say, I'm responsible for. Everything. So it doesn't matter whether or not context is my ally or not. If you can clip it and put it out there and I said it, it's on me. So there's nothing that I said on Monday or Tuesday show that I am going to attempt to walk back. What I will say is this, though. What happened insofar as me talking about some of the feelings I have of criticisms that seem to be omnipresent around Black men during that segment was just ill-timed, because that has to be a part of the conversation surrounding Aiden Ross. I understand that. It has to be a part of the conversation, because Aiden Ross is a hip-hop cosplayer. And you have to ask the question, what is he cosplaying? He certainly isn't cosplaying.
You're getting blocked. Production Inquiry, you're just getting blocked. You're getting. Why would you do that? Why would you? Mind you, I wanted to come back to point out that it's So Golden Glow's birthday, and I want to say a happy birthday to So Golden Glow. I appreciate you. I did not save your comment, but before I started the live stream, I saw that you said it was your birthday. I did not miss that comment from you, and I just wanted to say happy birthday. Happy birthday. I would sing it for you, but no, I can hear yeah, back to Production Inquiry. Yeah, someone block Production Inquiry, please, quick, fast, and in a hurry. Ain't no reason for Production Inquiry to be in here talking about Van Latham can hear the voice of his ancestors calling. Period. Oh, there you are. You're welcome.
Ninth Wonder, or Sway, or Chuck D. He's cosplaying a certain type of, let's face it, Black man that he is around, and that is leading him to act the way he acts.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think he is legitimately surprised when he is held to a different standard than even they are sometimes. Because when some of these guys that we're talking about say or do stuff, or some of the Aiden's minions that we don't even know, we kind of brush them off oftentimes as the knucklehead.
He does not have anything to say. Get to it. He does not have anything to say. He was wrong. And instead of saying, guys, I got emotional and I should not have gotten as emotional and threw that tantrum on here, he's going to try to explain away the tantrum and lie his way, contradicting himself all through this. But Rachel, I'm going to tell you something. I will never be able to maintain friendships where I have to lie to you. If I have to lie to you, or if I have to swallow my words around you because I cannot tell you what you're saying is some foolishness, we will never be friends. It just won't happen. It can't happen. I'm going to call you out absolutely every single time. Every single. To be fair, I'm already down for a verbal sparring. Maybe that's something I should work on this year. That's something I should work on this year. Just letting things slide.
Heads within our culture that we kind of get out of here, right? Remember, even when we talked about Tyler, the Creator, back in the day, and we talked about his tweets, and I go, those tweets never really bothered me, no matter how they looked, be they anti-Black, be they whatever, because I'm like, I looked at those guys as like the young knucklehead niggas, and it's whatever. You don't take them seriously. We don't do that all the time, but we do it sometimes. And having that conversation about how far that culture goes and how it informs somebody's who.
I'm gonna let him cook. I don't want to drag him on that. It is odd though. Won't drag, but it is odd that so much of what you let go from the Black man's perspective is the fact that they are young and dumb, and so you don't actually engage with the degeneracy. You just brush them off as young. That's what you're doing, and that to me is absolutely insane. No. I want y'all to hear play the violin. I would, but I do want y'all to hear this very specific thing he's about to say, which makes everything he says null and void. Like it's not useful. After he admits what he's about to admit, absolutely useless.
Who is white, who's outside of the culture, you have to have it. You have to have it. So if I have frustrations about the way we talk about Black men on higher learning or the way Black men are talked about in general, that was the wrong time to bring it up. That's just true. Two things, though, I will address directly. One is the reason why I think that happened. It has to do with that feeling, but it also has to do with Glasses. Had Glasses on the podcast. Glasses, to me, me and Glasses argue all the time. Glasses has a lot of what I would call bad ideas, right? But Glasses is thoughtful, inquisitive. He knows he's got a big brain. He uses it sometimes to incite you. He uses it sometimes to rabble rouse. But at the same time, he is a friend of mine. So when we were having that conversation, where I saw the conversation had, I felt, to be honest with you, somewhat vindicated that it was him that was standing in the gap, because he, to me.
Cool. Why wasn't it you? Why was it not you? Why, prior to Glasses speaking, did you not do it? Why did anyone else not do it? You're glad it's him. I'm glad it happened. I didn't care actually who it was. I'm glad he did it. I don't care that it is him. It could have been any of y'all, and I would have been happy about it. Why didn't you do it? Why didn't you do it? Why did you not check Aiden?
He represents a Black man that I feel like is being cast aside now, is being not tightened up, but like suffocated. And we don't.
Who is casting him aside? This man getting praised all through the internet for checking a who? He said he's going in and out of prison for things he wasn't proud of, but pretended like he was proud of it. I'm weirded out by the idea that you are saying, oh, he's being cast aside. He's not being cast aside. He's making very specific decisions. Whether or not I agree with them, and I don't, does not matter. He said, I run with this gang. I go to prison. It doesn't matter, right? Like, he's not being cast aside. Like, I don't understand. The man is literally getting praised right now.
Have any use for it, and they're bad, and they're what we need to evolve away from, and some of the ideas and stuff like that. Yeah, that's true, we do, but there seems to be something that's metastasizing that I am starting to notice. So when we had the conversation, and it was like, okay, look, the homie that I brought on the podcast that you guys didn't really like, and I knew that you guys wouldn't like him. I was almost trolling you guys, bringing him on. Look what he did. He is the one that said enough on his.
Yeah, he did it, not you. Next question. Get to the point. He did it, yes. Are you saying you brought him on, people hated him, but you knew he would have done something great like this? You just knew. Would you want more Black men to be like Glasses? Would you want that? Yes or no? Why or why not? Talk quickly. Ain't nobody try to hear Van Jones weasel his way out of accountability.
Black lady, and used what he uses.
Van Latham. My bad. It's not Van Jones. Van Latham, Van Jones, both. Whatever.
Which is the street ethic that he's learned, to say, if you continue, these are the ramifications and repercussions. And that was also interesting to me, because what we have not been able to do is establish any ramifications or repercussions for cultural malfeasance. We haven't been able to do it. As a matter of fact, the internet.
Well, that's not even true, because he's like, oh, people don't even like how Glasses talk or whatever. Glasses is very well spoken. Let's be very clear. Of the four men, when Glasses was speaking, Glasses was eating down. Every time the other men came in to cut Glasses off, I was annoyed because the other men weren't saying anything. Like, let's be very clear. Now, it's still very different. Like, not going to get there. Not going there, though.
Has undone that.
Glasses, I mean. Glasses is very different than I think what most people are. Well, it depends. Like, most people are used to. But I'm happy he stepped in.
The internet has undone the ability to really mete out cultural justice for most people. Like, for most people, that's a fight on the right now. The fight that they're having on the right now is essentially about how they get Nick Fuentes in the Groyper movement in line, how they deal with them, because the power structures that they have.
Sorry. I am sorry for anyone who wanted to hear that full thing. I'm going to go back to it. Rachel is a better, more poised person than I am, I think. Ain't no way that would have happened. Ain't no way I'm sitting there and having this man ramble on and on and on about nothing. It wouldn't happen. I would not be sitting there. We would have to move on. Because ain't nobody go listen to this foolishness. Take your L. You shouldn't have said it. It is what it is. You got in your feelings. Next case.
To cut people off don't exist anymore. You can't deplatform anybody. You can't silence them. You have to contend with what it is that they're saying. And like, how do you contend with something that's so disgusting? They don't know how to do it. We lost that battle first because a lot of the people with the worst ideas, a lot of the people with the worst shit became the biggest, gigantic people. Neon, if I'm talking about the streamers, Neon, Aiden Ross, even of these new streamers I'm talking about, even I Show Speed, like even early on, he was on some different bullshit, right? Anyway, I digress. So that was a part of that situation and me sort of overreacting to that. But there is something else. There's something that people clocked and they're right. I've gotten so many different opinions, and there's one thing that is correct that people are saying.
Y'all ready for this? This is the part. This is the part. Yes, you do digress. Actually do. Yeah.
I want them to know that's correct. People have said just generally, and actually even you said just generally, that they don't understand why I see myself in a certain type of black man. Now, I cannot say that I see myself in anybody that's surrounding Aiden Ross.
Okay.
That it's done. It's done. That means you were wrong. Point blank, period. That statement right there. It is right that I do not see myself in anyone surrounding Aiden Ross. We were talking about the men surrounding Aiden Ross. Everything after that is useless. So he started off by saying, hey guys, me talking about the attack on black men should not have been inserted in that conversation, right? And then he goes on a long dusty diatribe about absolutely nothing. And then he comes back and he goes, I don't see myself in the men who are around Aiden. Okay, end of statement. Cool. That's who we were talking about. That's who Rachel was talking about. When you crashed out on Rachel, that's who she was talking about. So now that we've conceded that you are wrong from your perspective, you've conceded you being wrong, why are you continuing? Oh no, he can't let it end there. He's now going to go on another dusty diatribe about being connected to other kinds of men. Well, cool, that's great for you. If you are connected and you see yourself in other men, that's fine. Those other men aren't the men Rachel was talking about. She was specifically talking about the men surrounding Aiden, and you got in your dusty feeling, and now you're mad. That's weird. That's weird behavior to even address. And the fact that Rachel is not talking, because she's like, oh my God, I'll give you the floor. Oh my God, yeah, talk. Like, no. No. Like, you sit up there and you say, oh, okay, well, that's who I was talking about. I repeatedly reminded you that I was talking about the men that were around Aiden. I stopped you multiple times to say, why are you seeing yourself in the men around Aiden? I'm talking about the men around Aiden. Rachel said that, did that multiple times. And Van kept going. And now he's saying, oh, I don't see myself in the men around Aiden. But he's still going to continue to talk about how he sees himself in other Black men. Okay, that's fine. That's not who she was talking about. Oh, girl, I was coughing.
Those are like young knucklehead niggas. I don't even think they know what they're doing, right? But what I will say, like ours, or young knucklehead niggas, I don't even think they know what they're doing, right? But what I will say, see myself in a certain type of Black man. Now, I cannot say that I see myself in anybody that's surrounding Aiden Ross.
Okay.
Those are like young knucklehead niggas. I don't even think they know what they're doing, right? But what I will say is when you said that and when it's being said to me, that you guys are basically right. I do see myself in the type of Black men that are most routinely criticized.
That's fine. You see yourself in other men who are usually criticized. Those were not the men being criticized. Let's move on. Ain't nobody trying to sit through a dusty diatribe about other Black men. We're talking specifically about the Black men that allow Aiden to activate in the way that he's activated. That's it. That's all. Now, Aiden talking about he gonna give $100,000 to underprivileged. Girl, you better give more than that. And I hope they take it and don't thank you. Be like, thank you. Ain't no thank you, girl. Give it up.
By platforms like ours or other platforms that are trying to set right the cultural expectations of Black people. I see myself in them more than I see myself in the people that would be pure or upstanding or upright. Like my father was a good dad.
His daddy is a dusty. Like, here's the thing. He said my dad is a good dad, and then goes on to explain like one of the most dusty relationship. I'm not calling his dad dusty. Let me retract that. I would never. But he goes on to explain one of the most dusty interaction in terms of a father. Listen to it. Let me turn on. Let me actually play the violin for this, because ain't nobody got time to listen to this man without something, very much something.
Put together a family, but then had kids outside of his family. My uncles were drug addicts. They were brilliant men. They were drug users. They were loving men that were violent. They were regulated men that were completely irregular.
Y'all need to let this mushmouth foolishness go. You all do. What do you mean my dad was a good dad while cheating on my mom and having a bunch of different families all over the place? Or at least one other family. How is he a good dad? He was cheating on your mom, but he was a good dad. Your uncles who were drug addicts were attacking people, I'm assuming, because you said they were sweet, kind people, but they were also aggressive. No, yeah, this is more so the question. Ain't nobody ask you about your family, girl, or what if your daddy was a cheater, if your daddy was a rolling stone. Nobody asked you any of this. Oh, my daddy was a great dad, but he was cheating on my mom, the whole relationship, and had a whole family down the street. No, he wasn't a good dad. Sorry to break it to you. He was not. He was not a good father. You are not a good father when you're cheating on your wife and having a different family. So you lying to your children and your family is you being a good dad. Girl, get out of my face. Girl, they said my order is almost here. Do you guys know those Korean pancakes? I ordered them because I'm obsessed. Please leave at front desk.
And they all died early. Like the place that I come from, what I come from, my father was a good dad, put together a family, but then had kids outside of his family. My uncles were drug addicts. They were brilliant men. They were drug users. They were loving men that were violent.
There, they were loving men. They were loving men, but they were violent. If you don't get out of my face, if you don't, you gonna sit there and rewrite the history and experience of these men because you just need them as black men to be good. So what are bad men to you? If these men, these drug addicts who are violent, are good, what's bad? And let's be very clear. Drug addiction is a health problem. And for far too long, we've criminalized drug addicts, right? And I do think there is a conversation there about treatment of people. But what we cannot do is ignore the actions of grown people when they're abusive to other people and say, oh, they were violent. The way they are violent matters. And you don't get to be violent while also someone say, oh yeah, but he's also loving. Not to the person you're violent towards. Absolutely. Not to the person you're violent towards. Like, what do you mean? You're not a loving person if you're violent. No. You on fire. Van Lathan comes from a legacy of Gustavius. Dastardly deeds. Dastardly. I'm waiting to hear his next speech after his chat drags him further. They won't. The reason they won't is that a lot of people hear this, identifies with it, and think that it's good. It's not. Nobody told you to tell us about your history and your family and that your dad was like having multiple baby mamas while married to your mom and having other children outside. Like, nobody asked you for none of that. And what is that to tell us? That there are good men who do bad things. Good people can, in fact, do bad things. You are not a good father if you're impregnating other women outside of your marriage. You are not a kind, good person if you're violent. Like, what do you mean? Thank you, by the way, Oparia, for being a member for 21 months.
They were regulated men that were completely irregular.
Thank you, by the way, Sherry.
And they all died early. Like the place that I come from, what I come from is not what people would consider to be in any way elevated. Is really, if there was, and I want to make sure that my mother, my sister, and my grandmother, who are family that still live in Louisiana, are set apart from this because those are three of the most elegant, beautiful women that I've ever known, right? But like, I talked to you on the phone, like my grandmother, my father's mother, was a man's side chick. Like she had 3 children for a man who was married, right? Like 3 kids for him, for a guy who had a whole nother family. She's on her deathbed and she's like saying stuff to me. And she's like, oh, I didn't know that JT was playing on me. I didn't know this and blah, 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 blah. It's like by the time.
You want to know what's diabolical about that? After talking about how the men in his life were drug addicts and abusive, and that his daddy was out there cheating on his mom, he tries to equalize what the women were doing by saying his grandmother was a side chick. Mind you, he's also letting us know that the grandmother did not even know that she was a side chick. The grandmother was a side chick that did not know she was a side chick. So who are you blaming now? It's another man. If she is having children for a man who is married and she's a side chick as a grandmother, and she don't know that this man is married. Who do you blame for that? It's still the man. Oh my God. Oh my God. So generation. So just 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 a generation. Mind you, nobody asked for this retrospective. No one asked for this retrospective. But you go volunteer to us that your grandmother was a virgin. Just so the men in your family don't are the only one who looks bad, you go and sit up there and you go and tell us that your grandmother was a side chick. Mind you, that poor grandmother didn't even know she was a side chick. Why is he trauma dumping? Because he's emotionally manipulating. This is emotional manipulation on full display. He did something wrong in standing up for black men when nobody told him to, because the men he was standing up for did not need him to stand up for them. They were allowing a white man in a black community to disrespect black women. There is no reason for you to try to defend those men at all as a black man. Don't defend black men who allow men, white men in the community to disrespect black women and then stand up there and defend that white man. You don't need to defend those black men, right? Instead of saying, you know what, guys, I got emotional, shouldn't have done it. It is what it is. I won't do it. I won't do that again. No, he gonna go on this diatribe about how his daddy was a cheater with family outside of their current family. The uncles were drug addicts and abusers, and the grandmother was a side chick. The grandmother was a child. Dash, thank you so much for being a member for 14 months. I appreciate that. Like, ain't nobody ask you none of this. Black men all identify with young Jeezy type-ish girl.
I was in too late. I asked my dad about that. I'm like, Dad, what is she talking about? Dad's like, Van, she's confessing. She's absolving. She's trying to get absolution, right? She knows.
Who is she trying to get absolution from? She did not know that the man she had children with was married. Your grandmother didn't know she was a... Lots of grandmas with side chick is nasty work. Let me go find out. Let me go dig into, because let me go dig into my family history. Ain't no way, I don't want to know that. And even if I found that out, you could not torture that out of me. The amount of love and respect I have for my grandmother, if I find out my grandmother was a side chick, it's just like, it didn't happen. It didn't happen. What do you mean? It didn't happen.
She doesn't have much time left. So when I say all of this, I'm not saying this to in any way try to pull on anybody's heartstrings. What I'm saying is
that's the only reason you're saying that. You were trying to pull on our heartstrings because you were messing up and you were wrong. That's good.
That I legitimately see myself as somebody who was able to expand their mind a little bit, read some books and have different connections and be able to understand the systemic dysfunction that makes brothers who are perfectly good make the wrong decisions about their lives and about the lives of the people around them.
Then you're not perfectly good if you're making the wrong decisions. You're not perfectly good. This is the problem with Van Latham's position. He wants you to believe and see the goodness in people while they're actively causing harm. No. Your uncles sound like they were a problem. Your daddy definitely was a problem. And your poor grandmother didn't know she was a side chick. Yeah. You know, there's no reason I should know that. There's no reason I should know your grandmother was a side chick being impregnated by a man who was married. That's wild. Like, that's wild. Like, you want people to look past these men to say, oh, they're doing bad things, but it's the circumstance. And it could be, but like we now need to judge them based on their action and also include the circumstances as sort of like a mitigating factor. Van's sister probably earned 4 degrees by age 12. And he just sitting up there dragging the whole family.
And I truly believe that. I don't believe in the defectiveness of the people where I come from or the black men from Sea to Shining Sea. I don't believe in it. I believe that they, in a sense, not totally.
Why is he doing this? Like, we're talking about very specific men that you just said you don't identify with, and they should be dragged. I don't know why you're going on a diatribe about something no one is talking about. No one is talking about what Vance is talking about. People are talking about the men who defended Aiden. That is it. The black man who allowed Aiden to exist the way he exists. That is it. I don't know why this dissertation needs to be told. I don't know why we are hearing about your grandmother being a side chick when being impregnated by a married man and then on her deathbed confessing to you that she was a side chick. I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, what do I do with this information? Like, how do I utilize this information for the betterment of anything? Should we all be asking our grandmothers if they were a side chick? Are you saying you forgive your grandmother for being a side chick? And so we should forgive men for being abusive? Like, I don't know what, I don't know.
Are victims of a historical and contemporary wilderness that they have not yet found themselves in. And I deeply, deeply, deeply believe that. And if I didn't believe that, then I guess I would feel the need to cull them, culturally cull them and put them in a place where they could no longer have any influence. I don't think that that's true. I don't. And so as we continue to have conversations and have had conversations on higher learning, I think it's important for me to be like, yo, when we talk about what black men are responsible for and what black men are doing, there has to be, to me, nuance and contextualization into how we speak about brothers and how we particularly speak about young brothers. You guys, this is not to excuse any of what you're seeing. I know, particularly from our women and from our older people, that you guys are fed up. I completely understand. I understand that you are fed up. You want better from the people that you share your community with. I get it. I want better for you. I want better for them. But for me, what I have to be able to do is speak to some of the things systemically that ail and plague these neighborhoods that create the outcomes that are created. I'm not going to go too much longer, but I'll say this. It is easy to create distance between you and what you think the proletariat or the regular or the undesirables, as one person put them that responded to me, said, Van, you're going to get so much love from the undesirables. I don't want to be a desirable. I don't want.
Well, you don't have to worry about that. And nobody thought you are in no. Wait. Okay. Wait. I don't think that anyone thought. He already said he does not identify with the men who are protecting Aiden Ross, right? The weird thing is, after you sat up there and said you don't identify with them, they are wrong and you shouldn't crash out, what is the rest of their soliloquy about? Like, actually, like, the truth is, Van Latham is the kind of man who cannot take accountability and sit in the fact that he was wrong. Instead of sitting there and saying, you know what? I was wrong. Should not have crashed out. It was not the time or place or topic for me to go in on that issue. I should not have done it. And Rachel, I am sorry. To the people watching, I am sorry. I should not have done that. Done. that requires you to sit fully in the fact that you were wrong, point blank, period. He cannot do that. So instead, what he does is justify, and then move the goalposts completely out of the realm of whatever the conversation was about. That is trash. That is toxic. This is someone who, okay, I won't go that far, but from my perspective, I would stay clear of him. I would stay clear of him. His ideological framework does not allow for him to sit fully in being wrong, and that's the problem. If you can't say, yo, I was wrong, without the need to explain, without the need to justify, and even if you explain, without the need to justify, just sit in the fact that you were wrong. That's it.
Want to be a nigga y'all look up to. I don't want to be somebody that you guys think is going to have the perfect answer to stuff all the time.
You ain't need the perfect answer, girl. You just need to answer and then take accountability when you're wrong. Something you don't seem to know how to do. Why is it that people like, oh, no one is perfect when you're like cheating on your wife? It's like, girl, nobody told you to be perfect, but can you like not cheat on your wife? like perfection is not required for you to not cheat on your wife. Like your daddy didn't have to go and create another family, but like you don't have to be perfect to not cheat on your mom.
Don't want to be one of the good ones, because the only thing that people do to those people is shred them. What I want to be on this podcast and with everyone that listens is the most authentic, imperfect, but like present version of myself. And y'all not always gonna like me. That's the only thing I can give y'all. But I really do appreciate the engagement for everyone that reached out that was legitimately concerned either about the way that
All right, girl. And nobody was concerned. Ain't nobody was that concerned. I'm just gonna move on from him because he's annoying me, and he's annoying me in a very specific way. So let's just move on to Stephen. I think his name is Stephen from Diary of a CEO. Here's something I don't like. I sincerely do not like when I have a video on my channel and people are telling me, oh, you need to make a video on this. Like, that's weird. That's weird behavior. For me to have the video on my channel very recently, and everyone is like, oh my God, everyone is making a video on this. How did you not see that Stephen from Diary of a CEO or whatever was a bad guy? And I've been ringing this alarm for the better part of the last year. Like, I've been telling y'all, this man is manosphere light. Like, this man has been manosphere ever since he stepped out. Like, 3 years ago, I don't remember how long ago it was, I did a live stream where I was like, yeah, this man is trash. We were watching a video of him interviewing someone or another. And I was like, yeah, girl, if y'all think this man is not manosphere and trying to groom y'all into like settling for Dusty Man, I don't know what to tell y'all. Right? And so I do like that people are now seeing him for who he is. One of the things, and this is how we become better as people. If you're on, has been hated. Right. If you're online, smaller YouTuber in particular, smaller than me, I'm a small YouTuber, and the larger YouTuber, when you use someone else's content, even if you didn't take their video, but you take a part of their content and you're saying verbatim what they're saying, I'm not saying you have to, but how you build is by pointing out what someone did and then adding to it. You do not change and add to the marketplace of idea by just repeating what someone has already said. That's weird behavior. If you see a video that you like, if you see a content creator that you like, and you are using their information, it makes sense to use their information to create something of your own, not just like restate what they already said. I don't know. I just find that odd, right? And it's not even a citing preference, but citation is also good. I try to cite people as much as I can. But like I'm never going to just restate something that someone else said. Like that's not, unless I'm telling you that someone else said it, and then I'm gonna add something else to it. So I do really, 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 really like the fact that women have finally woken up to the fact that this man is a problem. I love the fact that people have woken up to the fact that this man is a problem, has been a problem. So listen to this little exchange and let's talk.
You said that a huge amount of men between the age of 15 and 50 will not pass on their genes. They will effectively die out of the gene mating pool. So people will hear that and many people will go, well, that's evolution.
Yeah.
But I want to understand if there's a counterpoint to that. Should society intervene? Why is, in the short term, we're going to have a lot of men who are disillusioned, that become incels, find themselves in pockets of the internet, are resentful, all those kinds of things. But should society intervene to course correct that? Should we put systems in place to make sure that those men meet partners?
I'm gonna answer that question with a question.
Okay.
If, let's say, a huge swath of people are dying out from cancer, should we intervene with that?
Yes.
If a huge swath of people are dying out from like a virus, should we intervene
100%.
with that?
Yes.
If a huge swath of people are dying out from genocide, should we intervene with that?
Yes.
So I think there are two important things. One
it's slightly different though, isn't it?
It
Because
is.
it's whether you.
So one is about death.
Yeah.
Right. So one is like if a human being is dying, we should step in. But natural selection isn't necessarily about death.
You just said that.
Now, note, there is a full bigger context here. I will be trying to record a video responding to the larger clip for next week sometime. Just know that. Or I go live and go to the larger clip next week. But for now, we are just listening to this. He begins by saying a certain percentage of men will not be able to reproduce. Yes. And what of it? And what of it? And what of it? Because it feels like they're talking about caring for men, but they're not. They're talking about subjugating women. This conversation, when they say intervene, this is completely about the subjugation of women. Once women had the opportunity to choose who they are with and who they get to mate with, men realize that women would rather be by themselves than to choose them. Point blank, period. Now, men have a problem. How do we get women to choose us? I don't know. Go ask these women what they want. Oh, no. They're not going to do that. They're not going to go ask women what you want. They're going to go and try to figure out how to intervene to allow men who are not reproducing to be able to access women to reproduce because they become incels. Let them be incels and then lock them up. Like, anybody got... Mind you, I can empathize with people who need and want attention from another person to be their companion. I can empathize with you. Here's a sad, sad truth. Because you want something does not mean that you should have it or even that you deserve it. It is not up to you personally to dictate how another person, a woman, feels about you and engaging with you. You put your best foot forward and hope to God that she like it. Like, how do you intervene? Hopefully the intervention comes on the man's part. Here are the things women want. This is how you get a woman. Go do that and hopefully you get a woman. Mind you, these are the same men talking about polygamy. Men already do not have access to women and they will not be reproducing. And y'all talking about some polygamy. Y'all do not want polygamy. You do not want men in particular to be able to have multiple wives, particularly in the US. You don't want that. You keep talking about, oh, men were built for this and men were built for that. Okay, if men were built for having multiple women, if that is your stance, please note that even though y'all whining and crying about not having access to women now, you definitely will not have access if we are allowing men to be able to marry multiple women. You specifically won't. If women are like, you know what? Let's go get this rich man and shear him. All the broke men done. They're like, oh, let's go get a handsome man. All the ugly men done. Y'all will do absolutely everything but fix yourself and improve yourselves. This, by the way, is why I think a lot of people reminisce and cry about going back to a time before women were able to get credit, open a bank account, buy a home. Like, men reminisce on that because now that women have options, they're opting out of engagement with men. And the funny thing is, they will see women crying online, talking about how lonely they are, right? And I've seen Abba and Preach done this. They're like, oh, she's so pretty, but she just want the rich man. She don't. No, women are making decisions. And some of these decisions are hard. I know for a lot of women, it is difficult to be alone. When it's snowing outside, girl, when it's raining outside, when it comes to Christmas time, there is a need for connection. And some women are sad, but they're choosing between, I am sad right now. I generally have a good life, an okay life. I'm struggling, but if I just jump in a relationship, how much worse will my life get? And they're choosing to be single. I promise you, most women can get a man if they have no standard, right? So they're choosing to remain single because that is better than the alternative. We're going to talk about Claressa Shields in a minute. We are going to talk about her in a minute. And I don't know necessarily that I want to center Papoose in the conversation about Claressa Shields because I did not know how impressive that woman was. I did not. And let me just end this guy. As I was researching her, because this was supposed to be a video, but I couldn't do the video because I don't have time to edit and then put it together for Tuesday. So I was like, let me just do my report here. And I was going to do a PowerPoint also, but then I thought that was too dehumanizing. Like, there's something very human about her, watching her movie, well, parts of her movie, and really realizing that she really did that. No. And not Claressa Child. No. And so as I was thinking about Claressa, I had this image. And it is very true. It is a woman, and if you feel like love is oxygen, this image will probably ring true for you, where you are being dragged underwater and the waves are crashing on your head and the current is moving you about, right? And all you want to do is breathe. Love is that breath. Love is that oxygen, right? When a hand comes out for you to hold, very rarely, if at all, do you look at the person that hand is attached to. It could be the devil himself. Because you need to breathe, you're going to grab onto that hand and you're going to come up for air. It is my belief that once you come up for air, you get to assess the situation and the person you're with, and hopefully you can step away if it's the devil. It is very difficult for someone who is desperate to make decisions about their lives and who gets to be a part of their life. If you're desperate, if you're the one begging, it is very difficult for you to set boundaries around who comes in and out of your life. right? And so I've watched about, at this point, 20 hours of content around Claressa. And I've come to the conclusion that something is off. Don't know what it is. She was doing a video and she was like, oh, Papoose is upstairs. And she did it like 3 or 4 times where she says upstairs, but she pointed down. And another content creator on TikTok, I think, pointed this out. And once I watched the video, she kept doing it. And I didn't know if she was like doing it as a play on something that has happened previously, or if she like there was a disconnect between the brain and the direction of like what she's saying and the direction she's pointing to. It doesn't matter. What I can say, however, is that I'm very impressed by her. What I can say is that I actually find her very endearing. When I'm watching her talk, and I watch so many interviews, we'll do some clips in a second, I find her really endearing. People keep calling her aggressive, and I think it's probably because she's fighting. But people say she does not speak well, and she sounds like she doesn't know how to talk, and she sounds ghetto. And I've never heard people talk about Lotto in this way. And I went back because I was like, maybe I'm tripping. Because I listened to Claressa speak, and then I went back to listen to Lotto speak. And I don't always understand what Lotto is talking about. But we don't call Lotto ghetto, but we do it to Claressa. And I don't particularly like that. This, by the way, is not a video in defense or a live stream in defense of Claressa at all. Let me be very clear. Right? And so the first thing that pops into my mind is this feels like colorism. And I'm not saying she's not a mean person, but I don't see her the way that I think a lot of people see her. I see her as someone who is deeply invested in her art, in her career, in her fighting, but who also wants to be loved and who wants to be seen as a beautiful woman. And she's pushing back against a narrative that she's not beautiful and that she's not good enough. And I cannot imagine what that does to someone to have to constantly be fighting against a group of people who are trying to convince her that she's not good enough. And I don't like that. I don't like the conversation around Claressa. I think the fact that she's with Papoose is dumb. I do. I think that she can do better. And even if you can't do better physically, if you don't want to do better physically, you don't have to be with Papoose, girl. Like, from what everyone is saying in my own research, the man is broke. And finances is not something Claressa needs right now. She's on top of the world. And one of the ways I've always went about thinking how I feel about a Black woman and their marriage, mind you, this is not advice, this is my feeling. If the man would not have chosen you if he had more money than you, I don't know that I trust him with you. And I am sorry, but if Papoose does not have a job, and by the complete side note, I've listened to Papoose rap. And he's actually a really good rapper. Unfortunately, no one is listening to him or hearing anything about his rap, right? So, back to Claressa. Let's step back. I did not know the depth of pain and hurt that she went through as a child. She was full trigger warning. Apparently, she was ARD at 5 years old. She was in, I think, Flint, Michigan, growing up. She said she slept on the floor, and she got in a fight around 11 years old with a man who attempted to touch her. That was her mom's friend, right? And the mom, she believed, chose the man over her, and she had to leave her mom's home to go live with her grandmother. Also, she said she used to sleep on the floor at the door to protect her family because she was the provider and the protector of her family, even at a young age. She would sleep at the door to prevent people from coming inside. She also said that she could not talk for most of her childhood until she was like over 5 years old. And the mom would get rough with her because she wasn't able to talk. So she did not talk while she living with her mom, but when she went to her grandmother, who was more patient with her, she was able to talk. And I don't know about you, but listening to her story, hearing about the men who came across her who she had to fight. She said she was bullied a lot at school and she had to fight the people who were bullying her at school. She would try her best to be a good student. She was smart, but she couldn't do science or something. She didn't tell me what science class, but I don't know. And so there is this need, I think, to degrade and attack her. But if you actually went down that rabbit hole into her life and where she came from and who she is now as a representative of the United States in the Olympics, the first person ever, man or woman, to have 2 gold medals there from boxing. The fact that she came back after winning gold to no endorsement at all, right? The fact that she felt dismissed and pushed aside is absolutely insane. She tells a story, as I was watching her, she tells a story about coming home, walking in the cold, and seeing this old woman with a cane, cold, and walking to the bus stop. And she runs over to help this old lady, and it was her mother. 2 things here. The first, it says something about the soul and the heart of a person that would run over to this old lady in the cold to help them, right? 2, how detached from your mother must you have been for you to not know your mother and see your mother and know her walk and her posture? Like, I can tell who my mom is from. Like, I can just look at, there is a connection that was missing, right? And so as I'm listening to her story, as I'm engaging with her story, I am seeing a human being who has overcome in a way that I think requires us as Black people engaging with it to have some respect. I'm gonna need y'all to have some respect. I'm so sorry. Like her, don't like her, whatever. Y'all need to put some respect on her name. She, after winning gold, she was about to go back to the Olympics, and she said, I'm not going back unless y'all pay me equal to the men. I have a gold medal. There's no way, there's no reason for me to go back there without having the same kind of pay, right? And she talks about her grandmother and the fact that her grandmother was engaging with her about the inequalities of the world, even though they were poor. She gives an example about having 1 ramen noodle and breaking it into 4 parts so her siblings could eat. Sometimes she wouldn't eat so that her siblings could eat. And she had a lot of anger and aggression. And when she's boxing, that's where it comes out. And that's where she feels like the happiest. And if you can engage meaningfully with this woman's story and not have a lot of empathy for her, I don't know what to tell you. That's one thing. Another thing is love. Of course, there is going to be a kind of attachment, insecure attachment that develops from that kind of experience. Note, I have not mentioned her dad, right? Her daddy was in prison. Her daddy came out and became a part of her life after her success. The constant need to prove to the people around you that you're worthy of love creates a person who is a provider who does not know what love is and only knows how to give to people to receive love. She said that their family, her family right now, there are people who don't like her because of how successful she's gotten, even though she's taken in one of her sisters' 3 children and she provides for them and cares for them. She bought her mom a car, her sister a car, this a car, that person a car, this person a house, that person a house. This person is like providing for an entire village of people. Papoose to her is just one more person she's providing for. And I don't like that. Like, let's be very clear. I don't like that. But calling her ugly, telling her she needs to get her nose done is absolutely insane, first and foremost. She's not ugly. That's not a thing. Let's just drop that right now. And I think that there is an undercurrent of wanting to save her. And I understand that from Black women. I agree with that from Black women. I get that you want to shout it to her. She's not about to listen. She's not, nothing about her story, the fact that she survived, she is a survivor of DV and rape and just the most abuse you can think about. She survived all of that. And not only did she survive, she was breaking records before any of us even made our first $1,000, right? She was doing what I think we should be praising her for, insofar as channeling her anger and rage into something productive that could provide for her family. Unfortunately, Claressa is not about to listen to any of us. I don't think, no, so I'm going to engage with this. I don't think so, Themis. They just want to call her ugly. I'm going to be sensitive with this. I don't think you're wrong, but I think it's incomplete. It is the same thing about Blue Ivy, where people would see this little girl with her hair naturally growing, and they felt that somehow that represented them. And they did not want the world to perceive this Black girl with her hair the way it was. And in their venom, they preemptively started dragging this little girl about her hair to make themselves feel good and get ahead of some of the pain. I think underlining some of that is self-hatred, internalized white supremacy. There's a lot going on there, texturism and all of that, right? So I think you are addressing the direct result, right? Where people are like, you are ugly, you are ugly. I think there are people who do not like seeing themselves reflected because they feel themselves to be ugly on one hand. And two, I think there are people who know that there are quote unquote different looking, that people find more beautiful Black women that they would prefer to represent their image. This is the kind of positive representation that people talk about when they talk about something like the statue in New York, right? I don't know that these people are intentionally trying to be malicious. They are being malicious. I think they're trying to quote unquote protect their image. And in the name of protecting image, right? In the name of protecting image, you're going to disparage, downplay, degrade, disrespect, and cause this person to go through a lot of trauma that they didn't have to go through if you but ignore them. And just look to them for the fact that they are one of the best fighters in the world. Praise them for what they bring to the table and ignore that which you don't like. Because the next part of this is the fact that Claressa admits to wanting to unalive, trigger warning. She admits to wanting to unalive herself multiple times. One of the times she recalled was when she went into her closet. She made a post on Facebook, and thankfully one of her friends called her, and they stayed on the phone for hours. She fell asleep and then woke up with a something to cut her wrist, right? So sorry. And her mom came in and saw her and said, "What happened to your eye?" Because she wanted to go to the Olympics. Her mom, because she was drunk, hit the door. The door fell on Claressa. Her eyes swelled up, and she was worried that she was not going to be able to fulfill her dream of going to the Olympics. So she wanted to end it, right? This is a woman who is extraordinarily sensitive to her goals, her dream, her body, She continuously, in almost all her interviews, point out that she looks good, that people are lying to her, that she's not beautiful, people are trying to buy the body she naturally has. There is a constant need for her to fight against what you are saying. There is a need to prove herself, to tell you that she's beautiful, to prove to you that she's beautiful. No one should have to do that. No one should have to do that. That is not okay. And we find that she is sensitive. And instead of pulling back, we lean forward because we see red meat and we just go in. We see her struggling and we just go for it. We know that she's going to go live, she's going to eat, she's going to talk about papoose, and if you troll her enough, she's going to be responding to everything. She's not media trained. She doesn't seem like she knows what she's doing in terms of her money, her finances, because, I mean, she's buying houses and everything for everyone. And we saw for years how Black people get into the entertainment industry with a ton of talent, but they are so one-track minded and one-dimensional that they don't know how to do anything but the thing that they are good at. Claressa does not seem to be very aware of how to operate her business. When you start getting that big, you are not just an individual, you're a brand, you're a business, right? And it does not seem that she has a good enough team to manage and scale her brand in a way that is meaningful. And she's leaning a lot into Papoose to do that for her. And that might be one of her biggest mistakes yet. It might be. She will not listen to us, but it might be. And I think we need to focus on her calling her and her man out, or calling Papoose out and dragging Papoose. I don't care nothing about a Papoose, right? But in doing that, please be careful with this person. Please be careful with this person. Because if something should happen, I don't want us to wake up the next day talking about how we should have loved and cared for her more. I don't think that is right. I don't think that is good. I don't think that is useful. She went on the Pivot podcast and I was so annoyed. Let me show you one clip.
I got to get
more clips.
better.
But I'm going to show you a clip where it felt like they were insisting on her accepting that she's not good enough. I'm trying to think if I should play it. No, I'm going to play the part where she talked about seeing her mother on the street, and then realizing it was her mother.
Myself that I would never catch the bus in Flint again because I have Olympic gold medal, so I'll walk everywhere. And I'm not getting on no bus. They like they'd never catch me on a bus. And I seen this old lady. It was snowing. I seen an old lady walking to the bus stop, but she was moving, but she wasn't moving. Like I could tell her legs was stiffening up, right? So I'm looking. I'm like, this lady need help. So I run down there to help the lady, and you won't believe who it was. Oh. It was my mom.
Wow.
Walking to the bus stop. And I looked and I said, what the hell? And I was like, Mom, she was like, Muffin. She said, am I dreaming? I said, Mom, it's me. You okay? She was freezing. But she was hustling to get to the bus stop. And I walked to the bus stop. I told her to stay right there. I ran over there to the store. I got her a hat. I got her some gloves. I got her a Coke. We waited for the bus to come and she got on the bus. And I let her go, and I was like, what the hell am I doing with $50,000 in my account? And my mom is walking to the bus stop in the winter. It didn't make no sense to me. The next day, I hit up one of my friends' mom was like, yo, help me find a car. Help me find a car. And that's when I went and got me a car. But if that would never happen, I probably would never got me a car. I'm telling you, I was like, what?
In sport, we
I don't know. I don't know. Like there are people who have watched videos. They're like, she's this and she's that. I won't repeat the words, but I don't know how you could actually go through and listen to her talk and hate her. I don't know. Claressa needs to now lean into business side so she can give confident making decisions. Sure, she can feel confident making decision. She needs to put herself through business and finance classes. I actually agree. One of the most mediocre people in the world, Taylor Swift, is where she is primarily because she understands the business of what it is that she's doing. And for a long time, I disliked Taylor Swift. I do not dislike Taylor Swift anymore because she's playing a game at a level that no one else is playing. Obviously, whiteness is a big part of that, and that will always be there. But I don't think Claressa understands that she needs to figure out how to play this game and get the people who can play this game around her. Because right now, you have 2 gold medals from the Olympics. She's undefeated, I think. There is no reason your name should not already be complete. Like you are legendary at this point. As I'm listening to how many fights she won, how many this she has, how many that she did, I'm like, wait, this woman is actually really impressive. Her and I are the same age. Like, I think her and I are about the same age. Like, anyway, there's zero reason for you to act. And this brings into vogue the truth about there. I think for a lot of Black women, the grit and tenacity and ability to make something out of nothing, which is affectionately me calling Black girl magic, not ignoring the hard work, obviously, is what I like. I really appreciate that. On the flip side, for some reason, for someone who is that scrappy, who can figure out a way to pull themselves up by a bootstrap they do not have and make it, to not be able to integrate that kind of methodical, disciplined thinking in their relationship is absolutely diabolical to me. I compartmentalize also, but I don't compartmentalize in that way. So the fact that you are that good at one thing and it only stays in that thing is really sad. Now, let's go to the part of this interview that actually pissed me off, and then we'll move from it and go to the Club Shay Shay interview that she did. Because I've watched, again, upwards of 20 hours of her content in order to do this. I mean, let's be clear. I started and I couldn't stop. It's not like I'm like, oh my God, I had to do so much. No. I started watching her. I got really impressed by her and I could not stop. I actually know her next job. After she retires from boxing, I think she should do commentary on it. Because I know nothing she's talking about. I don't care nothing about the sport. But as she was talking about Floyd Mayweather and the other men, and they were fighting and talking about the fights and preparing and the stance and how she knew who was going to win and why, it was very interesting to me. I don't know nothing about what she's talking about, but she's very passionate and knowledgeable about it. And I think I found her next job.
Tennis, and Serena was wearing her ass out. And you watching TV and looking at Maria Sharapova, I'm like, what about Serena? But to that point, like you said, and you laid it out perfectly, you make, correct me if I'm wrong, your personality makes people uncomfortable.
Yeah, absolutely.
Are you trying to change that? Could you change that? You've loved, and even in the movie, you talk about it like,
get out of my face. Your personality make people uncomfortable. I don't know why she says, yes, I agree. Absolutely. No. There is a perception of her when she's clapping back that is annoying. I'll admit that. Right? It is weird, though, for someone to say, your personality make people uncomfortable. Change. Mind you, Floyd Mayweather, as illiterate as allegedly he is one of the most arrogant, disrespectful people that I've seen interview from the boxing world, right? And you're telling her that she needs to change. Why?
As a young girl, well, you were losing money because you weren't acceptable to mainstream whatever sports fans.
Don't play in this woman's face and gaslight her. She was not getting endorsements and she didn't quote unquote fit the mold. Are we going to pretend we don't know why? We're just going to pretend. We're just going to say, oh, your attitude. Mind you, she's been absolutely respectful to them this entire time. She seemed lovely. If she is like aggressive or whatever people call her on her live stream, that seemed to be something for her live stream. As she's in here talking, she just seems as laid back as ever. Like, I don't know how much demure they want her to be.
Listen, Lord, Lord, take my words and deliver them the right way. I can't help that these motherfuckers is soft. I can't. Listen, I cannot. They soft. They're intimidated. These men is mad that I can beat some of them up. These other girls is mad because they ain't.
She's a boxer. Is this not what you think she should be saying? Isn't boxing about like this flexing, bombastic, larger than life personality? Like this is what, y'all want her to be like, oh my God, yeah, I'm about to box, guys, yeah. Like, what do you want from her? She's the best female boxer in the world. Like, I don't. Mind you, I know nothing about boxing. I just see the men, and they're out here like, I'ma kill you next time I get you. I'ma murk you with my fist, and I'ma walk all over you, and I'm the best and the baddest, and no one can When the man is talking, girl, they're just bragging. They're just talking cash money-ish. Like that's what the men do. And that's what the women do. I don't know. She's one of the first boxers besides Ali that I watch. That I've watched, not that I watch, because I've not been invested.
They ain't got no confidence. They ain't got no self-esteem. And then they come being mad at me because I got self-esteem. I'm confident. I'm strong. I believe in myself. I'm passionate about what I do. And they want me to change that. I'm sorry. I am not changing that. I'm sorry. If it make people uncomfortable, it's cool. It's all right to be uncomfortable. Some stuff make me uncomfortable. I still deal with it. They just gonna have to deal with it. And if they don't want to deal with me, block me. Block with me. Don't talk to me. Don't talk about me. Leave me alone because I'm gonna make millions regardless. Whatever God has for me, He has for me. That's why this fight with Layla Ali gonna get made.
No, she's not gonna stick by this, unfortunately. She's gonna essentially say, I know that I have to tone it down. By the end of this section of the conversation, she's going to I don't know. I just feel like there is a breaking down of her that I don't find good. Yeah, I know. As soon as I said it, I thought Keela also. I'm gonna need to stop talking to Keela. I'm gonna need to stop talking to Keela. Mind you, I thought I was gonna mess up the phrase. I literally thought I was gonna mess up the phrase.
But you fully understand that being that way is affecting your bank accounts.
No, it's affecting the people that don't like me. But as far as bank accounts, I am a businesswoman. I don't do nothing that, if anybody that has a company or a business, what is their reason?
Because you make them feel uncomfortable. I answer for you. Ask the question.
No. So you talking about companies? What I want to know from you, because I don't know. Well, I do know some, but what makes you think that what I do makes them uncomfortable from your perspective?
You just laid it out. You are a confident, they can call it arrogant. You are an outspoken Black woman, dark-skinned Black woman. Their fan base or their supporters, their crew, their customers, their consumers might not feel comfortable with that. That's why I love that you brought.
You're a confident Black woman. Their customers might not like that. How can you change? Which part of that you want her to change? Do you want her to change the black part, the woman part, or the confident part? Which part of that you want her to change so she can attract people who don't like black confident women? She's a boxer, mind you. She is a like. Wasn't he the one who talked about being a beautiful red dime or a pretty red dime? I feel like he's the one who talked about what did I'm thinking about a very specific line by Cardi B when she says, I hate when light skin think that they're pretty because they're light skin. He said, what? Girl, yeah, he said he was a pretty red dime girl. I was like, oh, period, girl. You better get it. Do they ask clear women boxers to be them? Right. Like, this is a part of the brand. Like, I don't understand why they mad at her and why they're pressuring her. Like, imagine how uncomfortable it must be for her right now. Because on one hand, she's trying to balance, like, okay, this person is trying to give me advice and tell me to tone it down and not be as black and not as woman and not as confident, right? Because you said black woman and confident. So apparently you're trying to tone it down, right? How do I hold space enough for him to tell me that and disrespect me in this way while also being confident, black and woman, and standing true in that? My advice is to not give him space to disrespect you, because this is disrespectful. This is disrespectful. Mind you, I don't actually think he means to be disrespectful, and I don't think he understands how colorism is animating the questions he's asking. And that is unfortunate and sad.
Brought up Serena Williams. She had to fight through that, being a confident. The movie with King Richard.
Yeah.
When he walked up like, my damn daughter just told you she about to win. Stop asking that damn question. Like, that confident black woman scares some people. And there has to be an advocate for that person. And to your point, you have to do, it's been said 1,000 times, 2 times as much to get half of what they get.
Right. So
okay, but you're asking her about toning it down. See, here's the thing. He realized in his dusty soliloquy that he's asking her to not be the thing that made her great. And so he bailed on the actual question that he asked at the end and then threw in some dusty idea about, oh, work twice as hard to get half as far, right? That we all agree with and understand. But that's not the point. You were telling her that she needed to tone down who she was. She needed to either stop being black, stop being woman, or stop being confident, or some combination of the 3. That's what you told her.
So you saying that because I'm confident, it makes companies feel uncomfortable?
They're a consumer. They're trying to make money. So if they give you 10 million, they need to make 30 million.
Right.
They need to.
He's saying she's not marketable. He's saying that. Ain't nobody told him that. Zero company came to him and say, yo, pretty red dime, let me tell you something. You know that lady you're going to interview? You know that Claressa lady? Yeah, her. The boxer lady, the 2-time Olympian gold medalist? Yeah, her. When you talk to her, let her know that she's not marketable. Absolutely no one told him. This is his belief. This is what he is projecting onto her.
They have a business model to parlay that.
Listen, if my confidence bothers them,
that's a reflection of them, not you.
Yeah, and I honestly feel like,
yo, I do. So if you all are content creators, I'm going to try to do this too. I'm going to try to clip some part of this and try to make a short. I wish more of us would, this section, because I do actually want this part, not from my video, but from their video to go viral. Because I do think this could effectively change her career trajectory in terms of her ability to engage in endorsements, right? I do think this could actually elevate her access to different kind, because what we have is a man seemingly black telling a black woman essentially she's not marketable. And I think we should test this theory by putting her out there more. Like, unfortunately, Papoose is a part of the equation, girl, and I ain't nobody got time. But yeah, I'm not gonna do it. Now that I remember Papoose is a part of the equation. Yeah, anyway, Papoose need a job. The Papoose need a job. Ain't nobody got time.
Companies are coming my way. And I will get a bunch of more. I already had endorsements and sponsorships and stuff like that, but I'm going to get more. But listen, if it's a company that feels like I'm just too confident and they don't see my greatness, that's just on them. But God bless people that do see it. That do see me being able to represent their brand and to bring the money, because I know I'm bringing in thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars a month just by myself. And that's just YouTube, Instagram, endorsements, sponsors. I'm bringing in money just being myself. I think that we got to stop putting women in this box and saying this is what a woman is.
Yeah.
Look, the image has already been changed up. I'm sitting here. I don't think I look like a boxer. From the stereotype when I grew up, they all talking about some all women boxers are gay, we're butch, we got strong faces, we got sharp, we look like men, right? That's what they said back.
Yeah, this part feels slightly delusional. She has really big arms and shoulders. And she talks about this also in a separate interview, and how she trains it. Girl, I wish I had that back right now. So absolutely not. Nope. And you know that. You do look like a boxer. Ain't nobody got time. I'm not about to sit here and lie with you. Beautiful woman, but you do look like a boxer. No. Her face is beautiful. I'm not talking about her face. I'm saying her arms look like they hit you and you will pass out.
And then you got women like myself, and then Layla Ali, and then Alicia Baumgartner, and we don't look like men.
Wow.
So I've already defeated that stereotype. So when it comes to them being intimidated, I thought they were intimidated by the way that I fight, which that's not going to change. I'm only going to get better, bigger, and stronger and faster each fight. But if you like me, you like me, and it's okay to be disliked.
No, that is what I'm saying. She's very sensitive. She's very, very, very sensitive. And it's really unfortunate that we take that sensitivity as a means to make content. And in the making of content, we completely ignore her, or we double down in that part of her that is sensitive so that we can get a reaction to then make more videos. And so for me, that's sad. I'm not going to play the part where she talks about her SA grape. I'm not going to play that part. What I want to point out about that part in this video is these men do not know how to conduct an interview. Point blank, period. And I am kind of happy that they don't and they didn't investigate, because one of the things that she does continuously is when she talks about negative experiences in her life, it's almost like a checklist for her. It's very clear that under the surface, if you think about this as a water, under the surface, there is a lot of emotion, a lot of things happening, right? But when she talks about it, it's like, that game you play when you threw rocks on the water and let it skip? That's how she does her emotions. She just stays at the top and it's just jumping. And she's like, yeah, I got this at 5. Yes, this happened to me at 11. I got kicked out at this time. I got abused at this time. And it's just like a checklist of things where she does not engage meaningfully with any of that. And I'm happy that these men don't really ask clarifying questions and dig deep, because I don't think I don't know for a fact, but I don't think they're equipped to handle the magnitude of what is beneath the surface. So her just skipping at the top feels Like, it's just enough to inform us of what happens to her, but it doesn't, like, we don't get her unraveling in front of people who can help put her back together in some ways. And so, I like that they didn't do it, but I feel like she needs someone, and I hope she's in therapy. I think she needs someone to reaffirm that these aren't normal experiences and that she deserves to be heard and cared for. But I don't know who's going to do that if not a therapist. But I do hope that she goes deep in her emotions. I write for my emotions, and I'm thinking she's boxing for her emotions. And if she's letting it out that way, and some psychologists can say, yeah, that's a good way to let it out, then period. But I don't know if it's the most healthy thing to not deal with the underlying issues. As my take. I'm gonna skip over the part where she talks about being suicidal ideation. I'm gonna skip that. Not because I don't think it's important. I think it's important, but I'm gonna go to the Club Shay Shay interview. Unfortunately, that is still on. She also talked about, I don't remember where this is, but she talks about the fact that she had to remind people of who she was because people continuously tried to erase her from the conversation around boxing, and that she was not the face of female boxing, even though she was the best, the greatest of all time. And so she created the GWOT, GWOT, greatest woman of all time, I think. I don't remember the acronym, but I appreciated that she refused to be erased, and she told them, like, I'm that girl. Actually, I know where that is. It's at the 32-minute mark. Let's do it.
Has always been to protect her. So if she gone for a couple days and we don't know where she at and we don't know about her safety, we're not gonna call the police and stuff. We get out there on the streets and we go find her. And it was always a thing of, see, my sister spent more time with mom than me. So I would tell her, think of your memory, what houses y'all went to and what streets, because Flint ain't that big.
Right.
Flint, 10 minutes north, 10 minutes south. I feel like that's what comes with when you're very successful. You are yourself. You don't let people change you. I think that's where like the hate comes from. And then you're outspoken and you're not shy about your greatness. People want me to they want me to let y'all and everybody else tell me how great I am. And me just sit back and be like, okay, yeah, all right. Now, until you say it don't mean nothing. Like whatever I do, I shouldn't big myself up. I should let y'all do it. And I just have to be honest. Had I not ever said that I was the greatest woman of all time, they would have never gave me that recognition, no matter how great I fight. I had to let the world know this is what it is. I had to put facts to their face. I had to put my fighting footage to their face. I had to put my gold medals all up in their face, my belts all up in their face, so they know y'all cannot deny me. You may not like me because I'm dark skinned or I'm outspoken or I'm from Flint or I'm just too much of an aggressive female. You think, but you will not keep this from me. You're going to give me my recognition because I earned it. I am the best. And I had to put it in everybody's face so they know I'm the fucking best. Accept it, acknowledge it, and give me my props because I work hard for it. But had I not said it, they would have me number 10 on pound list. I probably wouldn't even be on it. It got men that put me on the men's pound list. But it was like I had to show them, like, hold up. 2 Olympic gold medals, 5 divisions, 3-time undisputed, the only boxer in history. Yeah. I had to let them know, even though y'all may not think it's a big deal, but this is history. It's history, it's legacy, and it means a lot.
I love that you brought up
period. And that's not, for me, that's not on that. Like, ain't nobody going to sit up here and tell you who you are when you know exactly who you are. nobody got time for that. So I do actually appreciate her willingness. The boldness and the brashness that people hate about her is a thing that saved her and her legacy. So it is weird to want to penalize her for standing up for herself and being as outspoken as she is, where without it you guys would like deny who she. Absolutely not. So no, I appreciate her, like her. I actually really do like her now. I just wish the Papoose thing wasn't. I wish I had discovered her prior to Papoose. I wish I had discovered her prior to the drama. Because honestly, I went to figure out like why who is this woman and why is she like making herself look bad. And then I was like, oh, okay, that's who she is. Because that is wild that you would. Where's the thing? There was a Club Shay Shay interview that I wanted to show y'all where she talked about the speech impediment. We're here. I don't even understand how people could, like, I get it. Like, she might not be your cup of tea, but just say she's like mean and aggressive is weird when she just seemed like a regular person. To me, honest to God, she just seemed like a regular person to me in the way that she talks and like pushes back. Oh, period. Thank you.
I had got my first bruise there.
So you grew up liking to fight?
Yeah, I liking knowing that you said you could beat me up and you said you was better than me, but if I get in the gym and I work hard and me and you fight, I beat you. I like to being like, there's nothing you can say about me beating you up, because
her relationship tends to overshadow her accomplishment. Right. Mind you, you know that I have not played any part of her discussing Papoose, right? Please note that. The reason is those are the most boring parts of her interviews. If you are watching, if you actually really care about people and their story and like what makes a person who they are and the poetry in people's lives, when you watch her, Papoose is just an annoying part of her story. And it might be a part that has a ton of consequences because she's been talking about how she want to have children with him. And I mean, to each their own. She's not about to listen to me tell her no. So do your thing, girl. Period. Do your thing. Do your thing. But the most boring, uninteresting part of her story is the Papoose part of her story.
that's literally like what happened. Like there's no people like say, oh, I got robbed, this and that, but it was like I get in the ring and dominate everybody. Right. So it's like you saying you can beat me, right, and I say, okay, let's do it. And it's woman versus woman, or a lot of times growing up, it was me versus a man.
And that's what I'm saying. But in boxing, okay, I understand points. If you knock somebody out, okay, obviously you win. But in a street fight, that's a whole different thing. So you grew up fighting little girls and little boys?
Yeah, up in street fighting? Yeah. That's how I initially got into boxing. But I started getting into fights at school because I was being bullied. I was never the person to start the fights. Right. I was actually scared to fight when I was younger.
Oh.
So my anger drove me to fight after being picked on for a very long time.
Right. I read that you had like a speech impediment. You didn't talk until you was 5. You stuttered until you were 9. So how were you communicating if you're nonverbal? You didn't really speak until you was 5 years of age. How do you communicate?
I used to just cry. My mom used to scream at me like, say what you want. If you're hungry, say you're hungry. You want to go outside, say you want to go outside. And I used to just start crying. I think it took for me to get taken in by my grandmother, Joanne, who really took her time with me.
You.
Yeah.
This is it again. You see, for me, that is such a heavy thing that it doesn't feel right as an interviewer to just kind of like let it go. As she like bounces on top of like what seems to be real deep trauma where you are not speaking, you remember this, and you also remember your mom screaming at you, and that your saving grace was when you went to your grandmother who is more patient with you. Like, how do you engage with that? Like, what did that do to you emotionally? How do you think of your mother in that context? versus your grandmother. Like there's this feeling that maybe your mother should have been doing what your grandmother did, and there's no investigation into like her thoughts and feelings about that. Y'all leave this man shirt alone. Ain't nobody care nothing about Shannon Sharp.
Understood me, taught me a little bit of sign language because they thought I was deaf, but I wasn't. I just didn't want to talk.
Okay.
And
did you know you could speak? So when you were by yourself, okay, in front of your parents or with your siblings, you didn't say anything. But when you were alone, did you speak? Did you hear your own voice? Did you speak and say anything?
I was able to think, but as far as in getting it out, it used to take a lot. So my grandma was very patient with me.
Mm-hmm.
She put me in a speech impediment class in school, an anger management class also. But my grandma was just like, she was sweet, but she was a no-nonsense lady. I feel like I'm a lot like her.
Right. Because the thing is, I had a cousin that stuttered bad, and my grandfather used.
Yeah, the emotion might not be there, but there is clearly a comparative analysis happening, right? And it's one that you don't skip over. From my perspective, it would be one you don't skip over. Sure, she might not have the emotion behind it. It's not for an emotional moment. This is an emotional thing. And the comparative analysis that is happening is that between that of her mother and her grandmother and the treatment of her. There is a question there about her experience, why, and how that impacted her in relation to her mother. Right? This is the same mother she saw walking down the street, went over to help, and then realized, oh, wait, this is not a random old lady. This is my mother. So there was a rift between her and her mother, right? And so there is a question there, and he needs to find it as an interviewer.
Would always tell him, and not in the nicest way, slow down, start over.
Slow down, start over. Think it, then say it.
Right.
So I had to get in when your emotions, right? You just feel them and you want to get it out, but it was like, you have to feel, think, then talk.
Right. And the more upset you get, the faster you want to speak, and the more you stutter, and the worse it gets.
Yeah, because then you just be saying something that they're like, "What are you talking about?" So for me, I had to get in the concept of that. But when I found journaling, to me, it was like if I could write something that I understand and that you can read, I don't even have to talk to you anyway.
Right. Exactly.
All right, so that's the part that I wanted to show you about her and her speech impediment that didn't really get analyzed in a meaningful way, but it's fine. But then listen to her relationship with her mother. And this is the part that, like, for me, highlights why she might be with Papoose, and like why us talking about Papoose is not going to change nothing. Like us talking about Papoose is not going to change nothing. She has developed what I believe to be a personality type whereby she believes that she needs to buy and perform for love. That it doesn't come unconditionally, that it has a lot of strings attached to it, and that she needs to provide, be good, perfectionist in her world, if you will, if she wants to get love. She doesn't explicitly say this in any interview that I saw, but I think for her, going to the Olympics was her way of getting love from the people around her. She does not say it at all. But I have when she thought she wasn't going to go to the Olympics, she wanted to unalive herself. The pressure is not just a self-induced kind of thing for her to prove to herself something. It is to prove to other people and to get the love from other people. And she does get it. And that might actually be even more problematic. She does get to be seen by her mother and her father because of her success. Why couldn't he follow up with, and what did you think? And what did your thinking sound like?
Real aggressive, real mean, and my mom can really fight. Like she can.
So you get it from your mama for real though, huh?
My mom and my dad used to underground street fight, but my mama, she like I don't know. It's like she starts the fights, kind of like my little sister. You know, like they be starting the fights, and I'm like, what's wrong with y'all, man?
Right.
But that's the difference. So my mom, you know, it took for, I think when I turned 17 and I won the Olympics, my mom completely stopped drinking. You know, she stopped drinking. She became more like, now she like to hug me sometimes, all that stuff, but she never was like that.
Wow.
When I won the Olympics, I feel like it made her feel like
She was proud of you, huh?
yeah, she did something good. And
When I won the Olympics, my mother felt like I did something good. She started hugging me. She stopped drinking. She started hugging me. Imagine what that does psychologically to a child. At 17, you are a child, and you are not getting affection from your parents. And then when you do something as big as win in the Olympics, that's where you start getting love. What do you think? And I'm not saying this is true, right? But I can see a world in which this creates a kind of person who needs to perform and do well in that performance for love. That is insane. That to me is insane. And I think a lot of us develop perfectionist mindset and attitude and work hard for this reason. Now, this can create some of the best working people, some of the most successful people, but at the root of it, it's still that need to be loved. It's still that need to be loved, that need to perform, to be seen, for your parents to finally hug you and tell you you're enough. And that extends to someone like a Papoose. She was getting hugged at 17 after the Olympics, where her mom is finally saying she did something good. Oh yeah, she gonna go on to be the best boxer in the world. What do you mean? She gonna go on to be the best boxer. This is how my mom loves me. This is how I provide for my family. I'm gonna be the best boxer in the world. What do you mean? Yeah. Motives can evolve. I do hope she's getting the kind of help she needs, though. They don't know how to let her be vulnerable, so they just gloss over the emotionality of her responses. It seems like these Black men have a dissonance with being able to see vulnerability in Black women. Yes. And I also think this is where the issue for me comes, where I'm like, maybe it's a good thing that she's so guarded, because these are not the people she needs to give that to, because I don't actually think they would know what to do with it outside of monetize and go viral. Like, I don't actually think they would know what to do with it. Court, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And I agree.
And I want her to know that she did do something good, and that I turned out to be all right, even though my childhood wasn't all that great.
Have you ever had a conversation with your mom about what transpired in your childhood and what went on? You had a conversation with her. So what did she say? Did she apologize? Like, Claressa, I'm sorry. I know I did the best I could. I might have not been the best mom, but I just want you to know that I loved you and I'm proud of you.
Well, when I was 5 and I had got,
her mother did not apologize. She's going to end. Sorry. Scratch that. Let's go all the way back. I do not believe that her mother apologized. While she's about to say her mother apologized at the end of this, you do not start a sentence where you're asked if your mother apologized for everything you've been through by going back in this way. If she apologized, Claressa has not fully accepted the apology, which is her right to do. This is not how you answer that question, I think.
Like, it made her feel like she
proud of you, huh?
Yeah, she did something good. And I want her to know that she did do something good, and that I turned out to be all right, even though my childhood wasn't all that great.
Have you ever had a conversation with your mom about what transpired in your childhood and what went on? You had a conversation with her. So what did she say? Did she apologize? Like, Claressa, I'm sorry. I know I did the best I could. I might have not been the best mom, but I just want you to know that I loved you and I'm proud of you.
Well, when I was 5 and I had got,
You got
the R word.
Yes.
Families don't talk about that stuff for a long time. So when it happened to me when I was 5, we didn't talk about it till I was 16, almost 17. So when we talked about it, me growing up as a kid and being taken in by my grandmother and living.
Production, I hope you're wrong. I hope that you are wrong, because this would be, it would further my position on this, but this would no. I hope you're wrong. I'm not going back though, but I do hope you're wrong.
My grandmother most of my childhood after being 5. What I knew and what I felt, I guess, was like, was it inaccurate or was it emotionally flawed? I don't know, but I felt that she picked the abuser over me, and I grew up with that in me
You
for a
had
lot of years.
resentment towards your mom.
Yeah,
because
for
she
a long
didn't
time.
believe you. Did you tell her?
Well, I told my aunt, and my aunt told my grandma. That's how I got taken by my grandma. But from my knowledge, I thought that I had to move with my grandma because my mom chose him. That was what I.
That's what you interpreted it as.
Yes, because they say keep kids out of grown folks' business. So I'm just with my grandma. So I go from being around 4 or 5 kids every day, my brothers and my sisters, to now with my grandma and just me and her. You know how it is with grandma.
Yeah, grandma's strict. Grandma
just cook and you watch movies and you don't go outside much. A grandma is, she's grandma.
Absolutely.
And so that was how I interpreted it. So when I was like 16, I'm doing all these interviews, getting ready for the Olympics. I just beat the world champion, Mary Spencer. There's a lot going on. And they kept asking me like, who are you? How was your upbringing? And I just was like, listen, I had a rough upbringing, but that's all over now. I'm about to win the Olympics.
Right.
But for some people interviewing you, like, that's not enough.
No.
Right. So they kept digging.
They really wanted the tea.
Yeah. So they kept digging and digging. And I was like, I don't want to tell anybody about what happened to me because, one, I don't want to make my mom look bad. But then two, if my mom didn't believe me or took his side, then what I'm gonna look like telling the world that, and they don't take my side, or they don't understand or believe me. So I spoke with my mom about it, and she let me know. She told me she broke up with that guy after a year after it happened. She couldn't believe it. She never chose him over me. I moved with my grandma because he threatened to kill me. That's why I moved with my grandma. So
now, Claressa, you do know that story is wild, right? A year. Let me go back. Calm down. Calm down. Her interpretation that her mother chose that man over her, and her mom trying to dissuade her by saying, oh, he threatened that he would unalive you, and that's why you went to your grandmother. But the mother stayed with that man for over a year. I'm just going to hit play. Because I don't want to say anything bad about her mother. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit play because ain't nobody got time. The fact that y'all out here is choosing men over y'all's children is absolutely insane to me. I hope that she does get to deal with this because she's like, oh, I told some interviewers this and they wanted to dig deeper. Thank God for those interviewers. But it is interesting that from that she went back to her family to get clarification. And I hope that from that she also went to a therapist. And I hope she's like working through this.
Grandma, like I said, she's very stern and she ain't gonna play with you. So my grandma took me in just to keep him from harming me. And also too, he got beat up by a lot of my cousins. He got jumped on. I heard he got pistol whipped. A whole bunch of stuff happened to him. So it was a thing of like, all this grown folk stuff is going on, and me as a kid, I didn't know. So when I turned 16, my mama told me, and yes, she apologized. You know, she apologized, let me know that she loved me, that it was okay to talk about it and get it out. And me being able to talk about it is what made me feel
like a weight is lifted off.
It was a weight off my shoulders. It really was, because it was like a deep secret that I was hiding. And I just remember kind of like.
She's from Flint, Michigan.
I don't know if I was blaming myself or what, but it was like, dang, I always felt like, you know, like I wasn't good enough to be with my siblings, to be with my mom. But I'm grateful for my grandmother, because she, taught me how to clean up, you know, shower.
She said, it made me feel like I wasn't good enough to be with my mom. It made me feel like I wasn't good enough to be with my mom. And guess when she became good enough for her mother? When she won the Olympics. No one can deny her after she won the Olympics. She talked about plastic surgery and considering plastic surgery because of the people online. And I actually want y'all to hear this part. And this is why this is going to be the last part of this, because I think it's easy to just start commenting on people's bodies and their looks, and we don't really understand the impact we're having on people. And something that she tries to do, and I don't think she's very good at, is she tries to hide her feelings towards the audience and the impact that the audience is having on her. But that's one sort of emotional reality that for me is very clear. It is very clear that she's very much affected by the opinion of the audience and the internet. She denies it over and over and over again. But when you listen to this, you know immediately from my perspective, I knew that we affect her in a negative way. And that's the problem.
First, second, third round. But then you got to the fourth round and you see these girls is like tired, and then their face start getting bloodied up and bruised. And I'm like, this girl punching, man. This girl is punching for real. And then these girls end up quitting, or she stop them. And I'm like, yeah, I gotta watch out for this one. And that was the only one who I fought so far who I said I gotta watch out for this one. Because she was
everybody else, you feel like you go in the ring, you like, I'm confident, I got you.
Well, I feel like I had her too, but not. I was like, I had to watch her. I'm like, I can't slip up in here, slip up and miss that 1 second. Hey, catch you with a shot. You be like, woo! You know when it be like.
Have you ever been pressured to have cosmetic surgery?
This past year, with all the judging and all the people trying to say that I'm fat or trying to body shame me or whatever.
No, because I'm not going to change the thumbnail, because the question wasn't about her. It was about her, and we're going to get to Tichina Arnold in a minute, but it's about a bunch of people. I will not be changing that thumbnail. That is a question. That is a question. And how you answer that question is how you answer that question. I actually don't care if people believe she's ugly. I don't believe she's ugly.
Because in camp, I got a 6-pack and I'm really, cut up and stuff. But then out of camp, I don't mind having a little stomach or whatever. Yeah. I don't mind. Yeah. I don't mind that. Right. But when I see people judge me and saying that I should get stuff done, people actually get my nose done, which I think my face. I think my face is perfect. But these are just haters. Yeah, you got to understand people saying this stuff. But with me, I would love to. I heard that when you go and get these body surgeries done.
Yes. Thank you. I was waiting for them to be done with this. But why would you look? Why would you look at her and then say something like, oh, have you feel pressure to get surgery? The confidence, the audacity to ask that question is absolutely insane to me. I think that's absolutely insane. Regardless of if you thought it, you shouldn't have asked it. I think that was out of line. Yeah, this is a recent interview. Let me check the date. Yeah, last month. This was done last month.
That sometime you go on there, they fix your body up and get the fat off, and then you come back and you 30 pounds.
I don't know if you heard it, but she said sometimes the internet keeps telling her these things. That one, she's reading them, and two, that is in response to her being asked if she has ever thought about getting surgery. Yeah, no, he knows the heat she's getting, and instead of like not engaging with it, he decided to. Like, you could have chosen not to engage with it.
Smaller. But you got to let your body heal for months or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
And me hearing that be like, I ain't got to work out to lose 30 pounds, but I can go down a few more weight classes and win some more titles. But in my mind, it's like, I'd rather work it off.
Yeah.
You know, and do that instead of being cut on and whatever the case. Because I'm really scared of knives and needles. I don't know how I got tattoos, but I'm really scared of that. So that's the pressure there when they come judging you about your size. But I'm happy with my size. That's why it doesn't bother me. It don't bother me. But these girls be looking cut up. They're going to get their abs done now.
Yeah.
I mean, girls don't even work out. Be having better abs than me. And I'd be like, golly, what's going on? But then, you got these filters and everything else.
They do.
Body shaping, whatever. And I've always been just the person just to give it to you how it is.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to continue to be like that. I just know that for my next fight, I'm going to cut up. I'm going to come more.
So what weight?
I believe 175.
175. So you going to, I mean.
Or
you only 185, that's 10 pounds.
Or 168, because they got some girls who got belts down there.
You want to cut, so you don't want nobody to have no belts?
No, they can have some. Just if they call me out, I'm like the boogie woman. I show up. Some girls been calling me out, but I already called them out before, but they didn't want to fight. But now I guess they want to fight now. So
they got courage now, honey.
Liquor courage.
All right. So that's the last part that I wanted to show you. Not the liquid courage bit, but the part of like Shannon Sharpe feeling so comfortable about her and asking about changing her body. One interviewer was talking about changing her personality completely, and then the other interview is like, "Oh, do you want to change your body?" And it in her answering, it is clear to me that she is fully aware of what is being said about her on the internet, and that she's responding to it because she said she thought about it based on what y'all were saying, but she decided not to do it. So that, but there was also another part where they talked about athletes, women who had children, and they came back to play the game tennis usually and weren't as good as they were. And she is trying to have children this year, she said, I think. And she wants to have a child and then come back and then have another child and then come back. I think she underestimated, though I don't have children, so I don't know. I think she underestimated what having a child does to your body. So I wish her the best. I hope that she don't have a child with papoose. Like, that's my hope. But who am I? Don't listen to me, girl. Do your own thing. You've been a member for 35 months. I appreciate you. He's not the one to have this convo or any. Yeah, no. So, theme is she is an overachiever. Yeah, she is an overachiever. And I think her wanting to achieve and do more and be more comes from what I believe is her idea of what acceptance feels like and when she's accepted. And I actually think there's a part of her that believes the way that the internet believes that the reason Papoose is with her is because of what she can provide for him. But as a woman whose family, to some extent, her mother and father, seem to approve of her and show her love and affection when she gives to them, I don't think she can understand how deeply problematic that is, that the man with you might not be there to catch you if you fall, and you will continue have to supply him with finances or a place to stay, allegedly. I think she underestimates what having a child does to your time in your life, and your energy. Yeah, no, I think she do. Yeah, I think she's completely underestimating that. Hey V, by the way, hugs, hugs, hugs. Oh, period. Thank you. All right. So before we run out of time, I wanted to get to Layla Milan. She's not my type of comedian. It is what it is. I don't dislike her, but like it's not like, oh my God, Layla just posted a video. I need to go see it. That's not me, right? But I do find some of her stuff funny. And when she said she was dating and having a child by this man on, he's known on like as like people's man crush Monday that everyone thought was gay, right? And at the time, people thought he was gay. It is what it is. I thought they both had whatever agreement they had. Didn't think much of it. She didn't want to get married. I thought he probably didn't want to get married. They wanted a child. She thought he was handsome. And so she was like, okay, I want to have a child with you, period. Do your thing. I thought that's what happened, right? She comes out and she does something that I find to be really disrespectful. And I'm not sure why she did this, because regardless of what you think is happening with you and your baby daddy, you still have a child with this person that everyone told you everyone said it, girl. I don't know what they said. Someone said Layla Themis. I thought, wait, did I not say Layla? I thought it was Layla Milan. It's not her name. Is it Layla or Lala? I don't know if it's Layla or Lala. I don't know if it's Layla or Lala. I think it's Lala. I could just look it up. I'm gonna pull up the video. Yeah, it's Lala.
See, I just feel like some stuff don't really need to be said. Like, I don't know. Y'all be weird. So comedian Lala Milan says she's open to being in a relationship with a woman because her baby daddy, Tyler Parker, was feminine. And to me, it's just crazy to be saying this while you're holding the baby in your hand. I don't care if you can comprehend what you're saying or not.
Time I was like, you know what? Maybe it's not that bad because as far as I'm concerned, I already dated a woman. Okay?
What? When you did wait, when was this?
My kid is I had my baby mama. Yes, child. It wasn't actually a woman, but the characteristics and stuff, like that. You get what I'm saying? What? Ain't no listen, feminine men exist. You know what I'm saying? So with that, it's one of those things to where I was like, it might not be that bad because I was already in I was already homo. Okay. So I'm just like, maybe it won't be that bad. But the only thing is I'm just not used to having a detachable and detachable thing. So that's my only thing.
This to me is not funny. You chose this man. One of the things that I dislike with people is the idea that you have to demonize. I don't know why their relationship ended, if it ended or whatever. I have no clue. But unless you're going to say he did this thing or that thing to you that is bad, when you break up with someone or a friendship ends, it literally does not mean the other person is a bad person, particularly if they didn't do anything bad to you. It is okay that y'all have an argument, that y'all went your separate ways, and y'all are no longer together. That is okay. If he was feminine and a woman, he still had a child with you. You allowed him to have a child with you. And now you're throwing shade at the thing that you knew about him before you had a child with him, during your pregnancy, and still being with him after you had a child with him. That is weird behavior. No, yeah. You went after this quote unquote feminine. Like, it's like, I don't understand what, like, make better decisions. Like, I don't like the idea that you intentionally went in, you did it for the plot. Everyone told you, yo, that man don't look like he bring much to the table. He got a cute face, but that's it. And she's like, girl, that's my man, my man, my man. I was like, oh, girl, period. But now you're going to try to drag him for the thing you knew everyone was dragging him for. The thing everyone dragged him for before you went in and you defended him for it, you are now dragging him now that y'all are over. Yeah, that's some weird behavior. That is weird behavior. We told y'all not to have a child with him and you did. Like, it was shade. It was shade. It was shady. She said that I can be with a woman because I've already been with a woman. My baby mama / baby daddy, a man, pretty much was a woman. That is, she's trying to be disrespectful. She is trying to be disrespectful. It was all right. I mean, V, you and I are gonna differ on this. I think she was attempting to be disrespectful and shady. I think so. Mind you, by disrespectful, she's essentially saying being feminine is a downgrade to masculine. So if a man is acting feminine, that somehow makes him worse than if he was being masculine, which means she also buys into patriarchy and she's dragging women generally, but that's neither here nor there. I don't think it's funny. I think it's disrespectful. And you had a child with him. Never ever chase a man. Your bad luck will be right. Anyway, we can move on from this because I want to go to Tichina. I want to talk about Tichina Arnold. I already said I wanted to give her grace because I think what happened with Tichina Arnold is that she did wrong, but I think she was in defense mode. And because you're in defense mode doesn't make you right or in need of grace, but it does mean that what you say might not make sense because what you said was out of emotion.
I just became aware of something.
So let me play this. Let me play the interview that's going viral first. And then we talk.
Recently that was going on in the news about what's that singer's name? What's the person? No, what's the woman that said something? Is it Ari?
Ari
What did
Lennox.
she say something?
Where the colorism thing, where she felt like Martin was bagging on me because I was brown skinned and because
No. Let's actually hear it from Ari. Absolutely not. We're not about to do that. Let's hear what she actually said.
Go on Pam. About Martin was how much he would go on Pam. Like, I know, like, and this is coming from a girl who I love me a good, like, joking movie. And it even when the joking movie is like, damn, like, that was like, you know, I'm not like too woke or something. There are some things where I draw the line and it just bothered me. Pam was so fucking beautiful and so fine. And I just feel like growing up as a chocolate girl, like, I don't even know if I was able to understand the greatness of Pam because of the light that I feel like I was being fed. You know what I'm saying? Like, of just like always going on Pam, always, like, that's all I remember. And I didn't like that. But like, so I feel conflicted because while I feel like this show is incredible.
All right. She's giving a cultural commentary. She's saying Pam in the show, as a dark-skinned Black woman, was being disrespected for being dark skinned and black. Like we're not even going to play like these jokes weren't about her dark skin. Texturism was full force. Calling her all kinds of animals was there, right? Like we're not about to pretend like this was not a thing that was happening. And she's saying, as a dark skinned black woman, her experience of the show was that where she could not enjoy it as much as she wanted to because some way she identified with Pam and she was being disrespected by colorism being normalized in the culture. That is what she's saying. Makes sense? Fully agree? Nothing to debate. There is zero things to debate. She fully right. Okay, Pam, let's go with this reverse colorism foolishness.
Because she was a brown skin girl. And I have heard this story. Like I guess it was.
So it was more than Ari. It wasn't just Ari. Other people
I think it was only Ari.
Oh, okay.
Don't laugh, because now she gonna be mad at me.
I'm not being mad. Shout out to Ari. No, I love Ari.
Don't
Shout
laugh,
out to
'cause I
Ari.
like her. I mean, I don't know her personally, but I like her music, and I met her one.
That man is so messy. It's so disgusting to me because in the beginning he goes, "Oh, what's her name again? What's her name? What's her name? What's her name? Oh, shout out to Ari. I love Ari. Do you love her? Do you not know her? Do you love her or do you not know her?" I hate people like this. Like,
One time when I was hosting.
mind you, Pam has already talked about this. Pam, by the way, is someone who is very annoying in a very specific way, because she's going to come out talking about, oh, I want to apologize. It didn't come out how I meant it. It was in the moment. In 2016, I found an interview of her responding to colorism in Martin, and she pretty much said the same thing. So it's not because it was in the moment. She said what she said and she meant it.
Right. I understand completely what she said, and I get it. She did do a disclaimer saying that she is like a shit starter, I guess. Like, she does cause controversy. I get it. But we've already moved past that.
Yeah.
And Martin never ever. So this is a little backstory. Pam was originally for a heavyset girl. So all the jokes on my audition were fat jokes. So I'm literally auditioning saying that.
Okay, so they were fat jokes, so they were normalizing fat phobia. You went in, you were not fat, so they changed it to colorism jokes and they were normalizing colorism. I'm very confused why you thought saying they rewrote the fat jokes to be colorist jokes change anything. Like, it actually makes it worse. So you are admitting that they were specifically fat jokes. You are now admitting it that this was about someone's body, right? So fat phobia. Mind you, we're gonna get to it because should I do this or should I make a video? We'll think about it later.
Like with fat jokes, right? They ended up changing it when I got the role, obviously, because that's when my body was banging. I was thin. I was like, yeah, what y'all doing with these jokes? Because
what y'all doing with these jokes?
Okay, so your body was banging, so they couldn't tell you were fat. So what did they do instead? Tichina, girl, really think about what you just said. These were fat jokes. You came in and your body was banging. So they couldn't do fat jokes. What kind of jokes did they do instead? Quickly. Said, guys, not everyone has done the reading. Yeah, her whole perspective is, oh, we were just going back and forth and dragging each other. They were dragging you for a very specific thing. They were dragging you on a very specific thing that normalized colorism way beyond just you. So actually, it does not matter how you felt about it. It is the impact of how you were treated on all the other women who had your shade. Oh, but you can't look beyond yourself. Oh, we were just joking. We were friends, girl. It was that time. No, it impacted people beyond you. You and that show helped to normalize colorism.
Yeah, what's happening? And I'm not getting back. Like I'm not. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. So
We need a script change.
So what happened was they ended up changing the jokes, but we were like when I tell you, if you were around on Martin days and on that set, all the funny really happened when those cameras weren't rolling. When I tell you we were cold, it was bad. Like the way we used to crack. So I used to be around a lot of gay men as well. So my reads and my cracks were quick. Oh, I was like, do.
She's describing an environment where she had to fight for her life, essentially. And they were making fun of her. And she thinks because she was hanging with gay men and she learned to go back and forth with people and she could defend herself and it would be a jovial environment where everyone is laughing, that somehow changed the fact that someone was attacking her using a very specifically colorist lens. It is weird to me that she does not understand. And no, actually, it's not that weird. I understand how people normalize for themselves and pretend that their experience is something good because to look at it otherwise is to be, quote unquote, a victim. In the unwillingness to be a victim, this woman and a lot of women like her will take what has happened to them and the very toxic environment they're in, colorist environment that they're in, and not be able to engage meaningfully with it because they don't want to be a victim. Actually, colorism and the ideas around colorism is a double whammy for dark-skinned women in particular. The first one is that you get attacked for your dark skin. The second part is that a lot of people, feel like they cannot speak out against their attack because that would mean they have low self-esteem. And so instead of being able to talk about colorism in a way that is meaningful to change the system that is colorist, you take it and you sit there and pretend like you are not bothered by things that bother you. It is a problem. Like, I don't understand. That second bit needs to go. Absolutely needs to go. Obviously, the first bit where you're being attacked needs to be done with also. But you don't sit there and re-victimize yourself by not actually engaging with the fact that this is abusive. The culture that attacks you for your color, your complexion is abusive. And you should call that out and do not be ashamed of calling it out. If someone say, oh, you have low self-esteem, ignore them or drag them. There is no reason for you to be silent within your own abuse. Don't do it for you, mind you. Do it for the young girl that might not be strong enough to do it for themselves. And that means you're going to take blows. And that's unfortunate. It's like, what's her name? Cash Doll, Asian Doll, some doll girl, one of them doll girls came out talking about, oh, I don't know what colorism is. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You want to feel like you are so beautiful that you were so above colorism, you've never experienced colorism, you're a liar. Not in this America. It is impossible. Everyone who comes out, every single person who comes out and say, oh, I don't know what colorism is, I've never seen it before. If you don't know the actual definition, fine. Thank you. I appreciate that. Oh, wait, it was Asian Doll? Girl, wasn't she getting kicked off of Fresh and Fit? Please don't tell me it was Asian Doll. I knew it was one of them dolls. No, she experienced colorism, all right. She experienced colorism in front of all of us.
It was bad. And it was vicious. Oh, it was bad. Like, we used to crack to hurt you. I'm going to take you down. You're not going to say another joke for a whole week. I'm going to shut you up a whole week. So that's how it was. I mean, just we had a blast.
Yeah.
And So Martin and I ended up, because he said something to me often, like when we weren't even working. I was like, and I cracked back at him, and he looked, and I was like, yeah, you didn't think oh yeah, I'm not just an actor, nigga. You got me all the way messed up. So they just started so the writers would see it. You know, he had a bunch of his boys around, you know, helping pump up the scripts and stuff and pump him up. And they just started incorporating. So it never, ever, ever came from a brown skin thing. It started when I really had BDBs in the back of my head. I never knew I had pepper balls. We call them pepper balls. I didn't know I had pepper balls in the back of my head. Because like,
also, the self-deprecating way she engages is like, yeah, they talked about my kitchen or whatever. Oh yeah, yeah, they did, but I didn't know. They just talked about it. No, that's not okay. That is not okay. You're laughing about it and you're pretending that it's fine. And he's getting his life because he wanted you to come out there and pretend that Ari was not right in what Ari said. So he is very happy that a dark-skinned black woman is standing in the middle of a conversation shouting that, oh, that wasn't about colorism. Oh, he loves this. Colorist men don't know him. Colorist men love a dark-skinned woman to step up and say colorism isn't real. They love it. Absolutely do. Oh, it's just a preference. Yeah, you're a colorist. And what about it?
you do your hair, and that's when I started perming my hair. My mom called it pepper balls. So I was like, damn. So that's when he got me, because he started cracking on the back. So they started incorporating anything he and I did off the set. It would be in the.
So you're telling me that the colorist and texturist joke that were made were not actually a part of the script. He was actually just naturally colorist and texturist on the set with you, and people heard it and then put it into the script. You're telling me that he's doing this to you while you're at your job working for him. He's making fun of you. The people who are writing hear this and then put it in the script. That's what you're saying now.
Right.
And then, you know, once the cameras start rolling with him, you don't know what the hell's going to come out of his mouth. So I just be waiting for it. I'm like, oh, I'm going to get him. I'm going to get him. So we would go back and forth. So it was out of love. It was out of that's what we did.
It was out of love. That's just what we did. It does not make it right. And because you have a maladaptation when it comes to what love means and what love should feel like and what love looks like, does not mean it was love. Someone who loves you does not disrespect you outwardly enough for other people to hear and put it in a script. If you are always the butt of the joke, maybe it's not a joke. Maybe this is how people actually feel about you.
It had nothing to do with color.
I said, shout out to Ari, man.
Yeah. Ari.
It had nothing to, he literally talked about your color. Like, I don't understand what you mean it had nothing. Oh my God, they're delusional. Absolutely delusional.
Now, we understand how you feel.
Yeah, we just want them to be sure.
It wasn't meant that. And so maybe, Ari, you need to talk to your friends and the people that you were around during that time. Who made you feel that way?
Yeah.
She said you and the show made her feel that way. Do not try to gaslight this girl now and say she did not see the colorist overtone, undertone, and full-blown colorism on screen. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Somebody, maybe in your family or friends, somebody may have done or said something to you which allowed you to look at things a little differently and not receive them in the spirit that they were given. All
right. So she said all of that foolishness, and then she had to come back out here and apologize. Ain't nobody told her to. I don't know why that came on next. Then she had to come out here and apologize. Let me find that. I saved it in my Instagram. I hate when things aren't in my outline. Why did I go on YouTube on Instagram, and the first thing I saw, the first thing I saw was Rihanna kissing ASAP Rocky. Ain't nobody asked for that. Like, girl, why am I seeing ASAP and Rihanna kissing? Ain't nobody asked for that, girl. Unfollow, unsubscribe.
Okay, listen, we all have opinions. We all have our right to opinions, but we also have.
No. Let me be very clear. I am not a wino. I am not a wino. I am not. I watched some of her videos. I am not one of them. No. Absolutely not. Tasha K has a disdain. This is not about a Tasha K. Like, I am happy for her. Good on her. Do her best. The way she dislikes other black, it's fine. Whatever.
Responsibility. So when I misspeak, I like to apologize for that because you're never too old to learn. Yeah. So I made a statement on Dion Cole about reverse colorism. I was speaking too fast, just speaking from experience, but I never ever want to insult anyone for no reason. And I misspoke. I spoke too soon. I asked my sons, my TV sons, how they felt about it, and they corrected me. So I stand corrected, and my apologies for anyone who mistook what I said. But it wasn't in the spirit of which I said. I just misspoke.
Yeah, you were speaking to your experience of witnessing prejudice against a lighter skinned person, which is a result of colorism. Because reverse colorism ain't a thing, right? Colorism is the system that benefits lighter skinned people because it's closer to white supremacy. Reverse colorism.
Okay.
The fact that a man is
reverse colorism ain't a thing.
And also that's something that happens. You were there to personally witness.
Right. You were speaking to your experience
with somebody that you love, and what you meant was Tisha went through something that she personally felt, and you witnessed it, and it did happen, and it was based off just her, you felt her being lighter skinned.
And trust me, I've been through colorism all my life.
As we all
But I misspoke. And sometimes when actors do interviews, we talk, and you know, I got a big mouth. So I say stuff, and it just,
it's genetics. It's genetics. You know, we got a whole lay hand.
People don't realize that reverse colorism happens as well.
She did not misspeak. I promise you, she did not misspeak. This woman did not misspeak. She was out here caping, talking about reverse colorism and all of that. And I think it is absolutely insane that it took two men to sit back there and explain to her why reverse colorism wasn't a thing. I think that's insane. I think that's actually diabolical. I was gonna play. Let me show y'all something. Let me show y'all. There is this group of men online called Waving the Red Flag, and I wanted to engage with their reaction to this as a way to frame generally how I feel about the lack of ability to understand one, sexism and colorism from a black man perspective, but we can all understand racism. Like, we get racism, but sexism just apparently just does not register, and colorism does not register. And because I will not be here next Friday, I'm trying to think through what the comment, the thing that I should review for next Friday is. And so I'm going to think that through. It's going to be Diary of a CEO or Waving the Red Flag or White Flag or some kind of flag. All right. So that's that on that. I'm going to hit the outro because I don't want to go over it now. Should I go over it? No, I don't want to go over it now. So I'm going to hit the outro, come back, and drop the link. I think this is what Petty is talking about. Someone said, "What is Petty talking about?" I think this is what Petty is talking about.
You just said that.
Oh, you're saying I should do this one? You're saying I should do this one? I'm trying to think if I should do this one. I want to.
Just
So
said
I
that
might. I will do this
a
one.
huge amount of men between the age of 15 and 50 will not pass on their genes. They will effectively die out of the gene mating pool. So people.
There's a group of men that's not passing on their genes. They will die out of the dating pool. Yeah, that's typically what happens. Yo, question. Whose problem is that? For real. I know we already did this, but whose problem? Whose problem is this? Whose problem is this? There is a bunch of men who will not reproduce. Why? Why won't they reproduce? Let's get to the nitty and the gritty of it all. Women don't want to be with them. Cool. They should do things to make women want to be with them. And if women still don't want to be with them, are we going to force women to be with them? Are we going to force women to be with them?
We'll hear that, and many people will go, well, that's evolution.
Yeah.
But I want to understand if there's a counterpoint to that. Should society intervene? Why is, in the short...
No, society should not intervene. Actually, better question, how do you think society should intervene? Should society intervene by forcing women to be with men, or should they intervene, society, to make men better for women? Who are we going to address with the society? Like, most men won't get their genes replicated, and I don't know, what about it? Other men will do it for them. Other men will do it for them. Some men will have children. Unfortunately, you might not be one. Not him, but other people might not be one of them.
Short term, we're going to have a lot of men who are disillusioned, that become incels, find themselves in pockets of the internet, are resentful, all those kinds of things. But should society intervene to course correct that? Should we put systems in place to make sure that those men meet partners?
Should we put systems in place to make sure men meet partners? You don't have to. They have Tinder, OkCupid, ChristianMingle.com, Seeking Sugar Baby. You don't have to create no system, girl. The system is there. They're just not getting chose. They're just not getting chose. I mean, it is what it is. I don't know what to tell you. There are some men out here that don't know how to shower, brush their teeth, or lotion. I don't know. Men said they're not going to school. Men literally said they want women who will stay at home, and these men can provide a stable home for these women to stay. At this point, we're looking at a group of men that just are delusional. At this point, it is giving delusional. These men are literally on Red Pill podcasts talking about how women need to do this, and these women aren't dateable, and we don't want modern women. We want traditional women. We only want this kind of women. And it's it looked like these men. It looked like these men have a lot of choices. It looked like these men have a lot of choice, because these men say they're the prize and they're setting the rule. And one man was like, sleep with 50 women before you commit to any one woman. They're like, I only want women who know how to cook, clean, and whatever. This other man is like, my woman can't go to school. This other man is like, my woman can't work. This one is like, my woman needs to be over a 7. This one is like, my woman needs to be over an 8. This one is like, I don't date dark-skinned women. This one is like, I don't date short-hair women. This one, like, these men are like talking like they have the pick of the litter. Like, the men are out here pretending that they can just go out and pick a woman. Like, the way the manosphere has been talking for the better part of 3 years has been, they got this under control. These men have been pretending for 3 years, way more than 3 years, but online, that these women just need to step their game up or else they're going to choose someone else. So color me shocked when I see men online talking about this same group of men will not be able to reproduce because women don't want them. So the same group of men with them kind of standards, boundaries and expectations for women, the same kind of men who said they don't date modern women, the same kind of men who getting their passport and flying here, there, and everywhere, these are the men who will not be able to reproduce. Yeah, what do you want us to do about that, girl? The same men who said women should not vote. The same group of men increasingly becoming more and more conservative. The same group of men who want to strip women of their rights. The same group of men who wants to force women to have children and not be able to abort and control their bodies. These are the men that you think these women want to risk their life to be with. Oh, y'all done lost your mind. Y'all done lost your mind, and women just told y'all that. Women said, all right, okay, cool. Women were like, all right, you don't want modern women, you don't want feminists. You said you want a submissive queen. Well, good luck. You said you were going to Thailand. You said you were going to South America. You said you were going to Central America. You said that these women all over the world were there to serve and worship you as a man. Color me shocked that men are now crying online that they're not going to pass on their genetics. Well, guess what? Maybe the genetics wasn't meant to be passed on, girl. It is just that simple. It is just that simple. Unless you're going to force women to be with these men, it's just not going to happen. Not this time or the next. Not this lifetime or the next, girl. Sitting up there like, oh, if it were cancer, we would want to cure it. Yes. We also want to cure the lonely man epidemic. Get these men to meet up with each other. The men are lonely. I've been giving y'all a solution for the better part of 3 years, and y'all have not been listening. You hear me, but you're not listening. You hear me, but you don't hear me. These men could literally become friends with each other. Boom. Loneliness epidemic solved. That's it. A bunch of incels have congregated online, and all they do is trash women and post their own face and talk about how ugly they are. That's it. They talk about how ugly they are and no one wants them, and then they disrespect women. That's what incels are doing online. I'm sorry, what do you want us to do with that? Like, what do you want regular people to do with the fact that incels online just being the most obnoxious, useless group of people there ever was and ever will be? Mind you, these men are out here talking about, I don't like women. I don't want to talk to women. Women always want to talk to men. Men and women cannot just be friends. And you're like, oh, well, sounds like you just have it going on. Sounds like you just have it going on. You think so? Oh yeah. And they don't want anyone who's hit 35, and they also don't date single mothers. incels might not be the only population. Do you know what incel mean? you know what? Do you know what incel means? All of them people ain't nobody care nothing about none of that. I do not feel bad for a group of men who cannot have access to women. You do not have a right to women. That is weird. And it's not because you're lonely, because if you were lonely, you would group up with other incels and be friends with each other. So that's not what it is, right? You want women to sacrifice their bodies, their health, their time for you. Ain't nobody got time to feel bad for a group of men who think that they deserve and they demand a woman, not just a woman, they want a woman to be subjugated. Mind you, let me be very clear about this. And I've written on this, but I never posted it. I apologize. I've been very weary about sharing my writing. Essentially, the article boils down to this. If a man wants a submissive woman, he's abusive. I do not care if he's in the church or not. If he overtly is looking for a submissive woman, i.e., a woman to submit to him, he's an abuser. Point blank, period. If you think your might should not be challenged, your thoughts should not be challenged, if you believe that you are superior and you want someone to subjugate, you are an abuser. I do not care if you're a Christian or not, you're abusive. Point blank and period. Argue me on that. Find one of the dusty men to come up and argue me on that, and I would argue them. If you want submission, you are in fact an abuser. Yeah. Hey, Kilo. To not want to be challenged, to not want to be equal, to not want you're an abuser. That's it. Even if you're like, oh, but in practice I'm not like. I just say the word. You're an abuser, and y'all need to remind these men that they're abusive, and that is abusive language, and they should not be saying it to you. In fact, don't talk to you at all. While they whine and cry on TikTok, online, on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook, while they're whining and crying on their girl, just tell them absolutely not. Go. Didn't they say they wanted polygamy? They said they wanted polygamy and that men can do polygamy and women can't. So it should be open on the men's end and closed on the woman end. Mind you, that means more than 70% of men would not have access to women. While men are talking, they don't realize that monogamy actually works in their interest, because if it didn't, if monogamy was not the norm and women were expected to share a man, they would not be sharing the dusty down the street. I mean, they would be, and they are. But generally, people would be fighting like the richest man, the person with the most resource. It probably wouldn't be most of the population. Systems include behavioral training. Okay, then go train them. Adrian, go train these men. After you train them, come back and let us know how that went. Go train them, period. I believe in you. I believe that you can win. I believe that you can win. Who wanna rock with Jenny? Keep your hand down. I don't like Jenny. I'm up to like Jenny. Like Jenny. Sorry, I had to do that. Someone dared me to do it, so I wanted to find a good time to do it. We are sharing Aaron here. Anywho, thank you all so very much. I so appreciate you all. I am going to go and eat my Korean pancakes and watch Bleach, because I'm going to rewatch Bleach. Themis, I feel you're being sarcastic, but I actually do participate in my community. Good. Let me know the products, the outcomes for your engagement with these men and training these men. I appreciate your service. Have a wonderful night. Bye. Oh, crap. Oh, it's 9. My meetup is at 10 o'clock. I have a lot of time. I have a lot of time. I was like, wait, I need to go meet my people from high school. Yeah, I'm about to watch one episode of Bleach, eat some pancakes, because These people are the worst of the. Well, they're not. I am not the person when I go out and order food to not eat my food. And so to do that, I actually have to be full. Because we have a tendency, this group of people specifically, it is almost like they're competing to see who can like not eat. Right? And I'm not a part of that competition because I'm about to eat. So I'm excited. We're about to go pretend like we like each other and try to figure out who is doing better than whom. And so that's kind of let me tell you what this is. We're gonna go to figure out who has aged as if we don't all age, who has children as if we are not all living our life. Then we're gonna figure out who has failed and who has succeeded in life, and then pretend like we care about everyone's life when we're just trying to measure our life against the lives of other people. It's pretty frustrating, but I will watch Evil Tanya instead. Anyway, all right. Have a wonderful, wonderful night, everyone. The most successful and least successful never show. No, everyone shows up. Specifically, if you're a part of the club, a specific group of people who. I can't say that on here. These people will show up, and some people flew in from all over the place to be here. They're going to show up. And the reason they're going to show up is you have to. You don't have a choice. You don't have a choice. You have to. I have to. And that's why I was freaking out because I thought I was late. Anyway, have a good one. Bye.